Are live.
Yo.
Right there. Let's talk about that. That an entrance.
I thought I was in the cinema, you know, like with the
This is the Marvel experience right here, man. Yeah, but without further ado, welcome to the first ever live stream of Take It to the Table. Take It to the Table live. We are here, obviously hosted by Wrestling Republic. We're just gonna be just delving right in. Obviously, I'm joined by the usual regular guests. Of course, Mr. Rymz. What's up, Mr. Rymz?
Yo, we here, we live. Let's get it in.
Yes. And of course, the bottom right is of course Matthew. What's up, Matthew? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How's everyone?
Hey, we all good, man. We made it to the end of 2021. We're alive. We're alive and well. That's the most important thing. But please, we need to do a resounding pop. Probably one of the biggest pops of the year for the returning big man RIDEZ. What's up, RIDEZ? Welcome back to the Take It to the Table show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm sorry I've been gone, but I'm glad to be back. It's good to see you guys, and it's good to see everyone watching live. So let's do this, man.
Yeah, I feel like obviously it was a long time. We've been negotiating back and forth. He's been rejecting the prices, but we finally just settled on the price, and he decided to come back to us. He's basically Kevin Owens right now. Basically, we almost went to somewhere else. Stay put. But yeah, before we get into it, of course, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really goes a long way. And of course, we're going to be talking about our personal top 5 pay-per-views of the year. It can be obviously from WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan. Obviously, we're going to give our own individual picks. And then, of course, to round it off, we're going to be talking about our personal top 5 worst moments in wrestling. And then I'm pretty sure there's been one or two. Does everyone agree?
Say again. What's moments?
There's been a couple of moments. One or two.
One or 200. 1 or 200. Yeah.
Right. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's been a very eventful year. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, like I said, enough dabbling. Let's without further ado, as always, let's take it to the table. All right, so 2021 it's been eventful in both inside and outside of wrestling, I must say. But like I said, we're going to be diving into our own top 5 pay-per-views of the year out of WWE and or the AEW or whatever we choose to have. So yeah. Let's just, without further ado, let's just get into number 5. 1 second, I can do another show. Hey, I'm so good with transitions.
That was cool.
All right, cool. So number 5, who wants to go first? Who was their top 5? Number 5.
I got a question. Are we doing honorable mentions?
Of course, we're going to do honorable mentions. Of course. Yeah.
All right. Has happened before? Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but leave it at the end. Yeah, we'll leave at the end. Yeah, we'll definitely do. We gotta do some. I definitely got a few on the on the worst moments. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna pick a random. You know what? It's because it's been a while. We've seen you on the show. RIDEZ, take the floor. What is your number 5 pick in terms of the best pay-per-views of the year?
All right, so my number 5 is the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that took place this year. I chose this pay-per-view because, well, firstly, I've always been a Money in the Bank guy. I love my ladder matches, but away from that, I just thought there were a few big moments. Firstly, Styles and Amos versus the Viking Raiders, to me, was an amazing tag team match. It probably went under the radar, but for me, that was like one of the best WWE tag team matches I've seen in years. I'm not going to throw AEW in there because we know their tag team matches are a different level, but for WWE, amazing, like match of the year candidate for me in terms of like if we're talking about really good, memorable matches. But away from that, just Big E winning was wonderful to see. I know people aren't that happy about the whole Nikki Ash superhero gimmick thing, but I think the person deserved the win. And I was happy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, no.
We knew he was gone for a reason.
Listen to what I said. I said the person. I don't care about this fake superhero thing. Like I'm talking about Nikki Cross. Like, well, she deserved it, man. Charlotte and Rhea was a surprisingly good wrestling match. I was switched off for that storyline. You know how I feel about both of them, but it was a really good, amazing women's match that I just enjoyed watching. And I think that was the main notes on that. Yeah. So all in all, Money in the Bank was my number 5.
Okay. Not bad. Interesting choice. Very interesting choice. All right. Mr. Rymz, what about you? What's your number 5?
Off of that was my number 5 pick, was Money in the Bank.
Hey, great mind.
Okay.
My number 5 pick, purely because one, it was the first pay-per-view with the crowd.
That too. Yeah.
Came back. And then it was a thing where it just kind of felt like we had come like full circle, kind of like finally kind of thing. Even though I guess it was the second event they done with a crowd, because the SmackDown before.
It was
SmackDown before had the crowd, and then Money in the Bank was the first pay-per-view with the crowd and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, and then obviously we had the return for John Cena. Had Big E winning, which was one, a surprise to me because I wanted him to win, but I didn't think they were going to let him win, and then he did win. So I'm here for that. Completely here for that. And then I was not here for Nikki Ash at all. That was kind of my only letdown from that. Yeah, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley gave us the match that they, I guess, were going to have at WrestleMania, but then they didn't have it because of the pandemic. So they had like a watered down version. And so yeah, Money in the Bank definitely this year. Given it's hard to just say in top 5 best, but I'm not gonna lie, this has been a very slow year for the pay-per-view. So to get the top 5, I'm gonna go Money in the Bank.
Out of curiosity, who did you want to win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
Who was even in it? Damn. Of this race.
I can pull it up.
Okay. You know what? No, I'm gonna say this. My 2 picks for that Money in the Bank were either Naomi, you know, I'm always gonna root for her, and Liv Morgan.
Okay.
Liv Morgan, that would have been a good pick. 100%.
I mean, they weren't gonna let Naomi win. She deserves it, but they were never gonna let that happen.
Yeah, she was not in a position to win it, really.
They let her be the Iron Woman in the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah, she's been in the position to win it, but they just ain't giving it to her.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing where they always kind of put her. I think I said this on the last show that they always kind of hold her below. Like, so basically, Bianca Belair is getting the treatment that Naomi is due and owed.
Well said.
Because it's like, because like Bianca Belair gets held into the same level as a horsewoman, but yet Naomi doesn't. She always gets put like just below them. Does that make sense?
I mean, how great would a Bianca Naomi feud be?
Basically, I'll be here for that. And then they're on the same show. Isn't Bianca on Raw?
Oh wait, we got a little comment there. I think something just popped up.
Yeah. So Randy Prison says, "Hate Nikki Ash's superhero gimmick. Cannot be happy for her because this gimmick is just trash."
There's the gimmick, and then there's the person behind the gimmick, man.
Oh no, we both of them right now.
But wait, I gotta ask you guys. I thought you guys were always on this Nikki deserves more bandwagon.
Yeah.
Like,
as Nikki Cross. I don't know who
As
this
Nikki
Nikki
Cross,
Ash
yeah,
person.
like NXT Nikki Cross. NXT Nikki Cross.
fair. Matthew was just like, nah, not me, man. I never rate.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't me.
I completely rate. I rated Nikki Cross. I don't rate Nikki Ash, but yeah, that was my number 5 pick. But that.
Big up Randy Prison for watching and commenting.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
Who next?
Matthew, the floor is yours. What is your number 5?
I was probably looking into the answer because I had like 2 options, but my answer would be WrestleMania 37 Night 1.
Oh, okay. So the one that had Bianca Belair and
Are we counting them separately?
Yeah, you can count them separately. I would.
2 different shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, do what you gotta do, man. If you put it as one, then that's your business.
Why not one in particular though, Matt? Why number 1? Why not one?
It has to solid shows. I mean, not solid shows. What am I talking about? Solid matches, like with like obviously Bianca versus Sasha, Cesaro versus Seth. But there were some like matches that I didn't really care about, like Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah.
I was glad to see AJ and Omos win the tag titles. And what else was on that card?
I got the card here if you need it.
There was like tag team turmoil. There was McIntyre and Lashley. There was I want to say was it the Miz and
we were prepared for these people. Everyone that's watching, we were prepared for this. Like
so we got so Mania Night 1. You had Lashley and McIntyre for the title. Natalia and Tamina versus Riot Squad. 2/3 of it. Cesaro and Seth. AJ Omos versus New Day. Strowman and Shane. Bad Bunny Priest versus The Miz and Morrison. And Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
And don't forget, obviously, the hilarious start to the show as well. With the
like 40 minutes late.
The awkward promos. Yeah.
Vince McMahon versus Mother Nature. That's what it was.
They really need to put that whole 45 minutes. They need to put that on the network. I feel like that was like a staple moment of WrestleMania that it got held up because of the weather.
And it was authentic.
Yeah, it genuinely was. And then when you go on the network now, it just starts from literally McIntyre's entrance, whatever it is. It's just like
I didn't know that. It's terrible.
They cut it out immediately on Peacock. I'm probably in the WWE network as well. Yeah. They just for some reason it has to be clean, and they don't care how authentic it is. If it's not part of the show, they don't care who you are. That's what I'm saying. Even though I have mentioned it on the network special, they mentioned it on 24. On there. Yeah. But yeah, this they should definitely add that. But I agree with Night 1. Night 1 was a strong night, I should say. So yeah, my number 5 is actually gonna be SummerSlam. SummerSlam for me was quite strong. It had definitely some good matches. Obviously, it had the Roman Reigns versus John Cena match, which I thought was great. Lived up to the hype. Then of course there was Edge versus Seth Rollins. Easily, pretty much had the best entrance. Edge had the best entrance of the year. Obviously there was a couple throwaways. Obviously with the Bobby Lashley and the Goldberg thing. The best part of it was at the end when he choked out his son. That was the best part.
What happened with that? Is that still like a thing, like a looming story?
No, that ended at Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Did they actually have a match at Crown Jewel?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley and Goldberg had a match at Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Huh.
Remember, he speared him off the stage.
Oh yes. Okay, yeah. I remember that happening, but it's like it's like hazy. Like when did that happen? I remember it happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Caught up.
So yeah, there was obviously throwaway matches like that. There was obviously Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. They didn't do anything for anybody. Obviously the Usos versus the Mysterios was good. In my opinion.
Wait, what did Jinder Mahal do on that show? I don't remember him.
Exactly.
He was
throwaway.
he
Even
just lost
it was
to McIntyre. It was just a random like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they had that dead feud.
Yeah.
Obviously, then there was RK Bro against the AJ Styles and Omos. That's when they became champions. And again, I think there was only one terrible match, which was Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. Obviously, they'll never speak about that again. But I just think the three matches to the end definitely, in my opinion, made it very enjoyable. It's one of the best highlights of the year, really. The Roman Reigns Cena match, Edge versus Seth, and the Usos versus the Mysterios. I think that definitely made it feel like very almost Mania-esque, in my opinion. I think those outweighed the bad matches, the bad moments in that pay-per-view. So yeah, my pick is definitely SummerSlam. That's why. But yeah, obviously that's why I put it very low, number 5. So it just about makes sense.
I got a little. You said SummerSlam was your number 5, right?
Yeah.
But you mentioned the Lashley and Goldberg thing. Wasn't that at a different pay-per-view?
No,
Lashley and Goldberg. No, that was the first match.
But the spear of the thing, that was
that was a crown jewel. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I would say in response to Mr. because you say did they finish that? Did they follow up on that? I was like, they did it.
Right.
Got you.
Because Lashley's doing a whole different feud right now. So I was like, did they ever decide to continue in that? Like keeping it lingering.
The first one was when his son got involved in the match or something, innit? And
that's what I'm saying. He choked him out. That was the best part of that match. He got choked him out.
That was so stupid. And then he said, "I'm gonna kill you," and then disappeared for like 2 weeks or whatever. Like, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The rehab.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bad father.
Okay, so that is our number 5s. All right, so let's just go to number 4. All right.
Boom.
So
Where's the pyro?
4. RIDEZ, what's your number 4, please?
My number 4. Can I get an extended drum roll, please, while I remind myself what it was?
Remind yourself,
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So we were just talking about it. My number 4 is Crown Jewel, and I've chosen Crown. Look at that. Look at. I've chosen Crown Jewel.
Can we just say, who thought a Saudi Arabia show?
Yeah. So this is the thing. Prior to this, every Saudi Arabia show sucked. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were okay, but come on. But this was a very stacked show. Like, I don't know if it was like the whole, hey, we're back now. People could come out. This is our first international show. I don't know what it was, but it felt like a legit event. It didn't have throwaway matches. Like, Lesnar was there. Like,
yeah,
and I know he's been over there before, but I mean, like in the main event, and obviously the anticipation for him to begin with, and then just some notes that I had: the fact that the whole pay-per-view is stacked. Main event was fantastic. Between Drew and Big E, I kind of felt like very minor, but like it was almost like Drew was the main guy for a while, and he almost like passed that main event torch to Big E, if that makes sense. Like, because since then Drew's kind of gone down, Big E's kind of gone
mid card.
I thought the Lashley and Goldberg match was surprisingly good. Probably Goldberg's best match since returning back to the WWE. Like,
I think it's his longest match.
Yeah, let's say that. Yeah, his longest match. Xavier winning the King of the Ring was just. Yeah, that was a good watch, and Zelina as well. Zelina was a pleasant surprise. I thought Doudrop was winning, so
I told you guys Zelina Vega was winning. I was rooting for her, and she won.
Yeah, all around it was it.
Yeah,
it was a good match. I do want to rewatch it because there were some matches that there were some things that I didn't watch, but the parts that I did watch still made the whole pay-per-view just, even what's his name, Mustafa and
Mansoor.
Yeah, I mean they had a decent match, and the ending was just like a nice typical comedy thing with the Karate Kid or whatever. I don't know who he was.
Yeah, the Olympic guy.
Yeah,
that was out of nowhere. It's definitely if you don't even know it, if you know him, you know him. but yeah, that was definitely left field.
I think people in Saudi Arabia knew him.
Yeah,
that's what it was. But yeah, my number 4 is Crown Jewel.
Ooh.
Okay. Matthew, why is your number 4, please?
This time I'm going for NXT Takeover. Like for me, I'm going to go for
sweet left turn. NXT
Takeover, Stand and Deliver Night 2.
Okay,
that's the NXT
for Mania, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that show overall was like enjoyable. I'm even looking at it now. Escobar versus Devlin, that was a good match. Even though ideally I wanted Jordan Devlin to win, but Santos Escobar.
Never. Santos Escobar all the way.
Because the way he's grown, like obviously now, like I wouldn't want them to change the result that happened that day. But like I like the way how they built him up. Gargano versus Reed, that was a good match. Women's tag team match, that was alright. Finn versus Carrion, made sense making Carrion win. I was actually, before he got obviously released, like I was a big fan of Carrion. Like wish they did.
Was that his last match on NXT?
No.
Second.
No.
Before the Joe.
No.
Yeah, that was his last one on there. It was against Mojo.
Yeah. And then obviously O'Reilly versus Cole unsanctioned match. Like that was like one of the match of the year contenders, like for me.
That wasn't that meant to originally be like the final match in terms of like for both of them, and then they both just extended their contracts for like a couple more months.
Yeah,
because that match really did feel like it was like the end of them, if I recall. No.
Demonic hands. Big up to the man them. What's up, Demonic? How you doing? Welcome to the show, man. Much love.
Listen, I have to shout him out because he's basically angry I didn't pick up his call. So I told him to jump into the show and comment. So big up, Olsen. You know he's not even in the country right now. He dipped. Yeah, all the way from South Africa. So
wow. What's up, Demonic, man? You didn't waste no time.
Where the weather is good.
And he's watching with the missus. So big up the missus as well.
What's up? How you doing? Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Much appreciated. Randy Prizzle says, agreed with Big Man Rise with the Goldberg match. Dewdrop's name still gets me. Right.
Yeah, they need to change her name. Piper.
I've heard that she had a better name before she changed it to Dewdrop.
Piper Niven. It's a name. Piper Niven. I know they've recently re-trademarked it, so it looks like she's gonna go back to it.
It should. Dewdrop was like a babyface name. You know, you can't be like, oh, this is the bad guy. She's meant to be a juggernaut. She's meant to be a monster.
Yeah.
Her name is Dewdrop.
They're just taking the time. I don't know why they're taking the time to drop it. But yeah, it looks like she's gonna go eventually to that name. Because essentially that name was just given to her by Eva Marie just to basically make fun of her.
Who has been fired?
Sorry?
I said who has been fired. So
fired,
yeah. She signed that big old contract just to get released. It's just like
But yeah, she doesn't care. She's doing no. She didn't even acknowledge it. She just carried on.
She was the one person that was not upset. Nothing.
Not affected.
Right, but she's only there for the money or for the exposure. We know this. Even Marie's like just a name, but then don't worry when
fair enough. Thank you, Demonic. Right. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining in. Okay, so you said this was Stand and Deliver Night 2. Mr. Rymz, what's your number 4, please?
My number 4, I'm gonna change it up and jump ship. My number 4 is AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view, which was their last one.
Oh, okay.
AEW Full Gear.
Good pay-per-view.
This goes for my number 4 because I think I even said this when we did the recap, but it was they're on par with WWE type pay-per-view because it was basic as hell. Nothing happened, and like no title changes, no kind of anything special.
It was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was just like a standard pay-per-view, but it was still a good show. I think it was the one that said I didn't understand the first like 3 finishes or something like that. Like it was what the side headlock, it was the tag team match with, I guess he pinned him in the wrong person or something like that, but because it was
Yeah,
a mask,
the FTR versus the Lucha Bros. Yeah,
yeah,
that
and
was
then like I
complicated as
think
hell.
and then the Bryan Danielson and Miro match, that ending just came out of nowhere, and so that was a bit deflating. But the pay-per-view was still good.
It was a deflating end because it was such a great match.
Yeah,
yeah, and then so it was like, you know, those 3 matches were kind of like, the endings were a bit like okay, but then the matches were good. The whole card was good, but then I did say I felt like that I guess because pay-per-views come on late over here, it's like it did feel like the pay-per-view was dragging. Like every time you think, okay, your main event's gonna come, the next match is gonna happen, and they're like, oh, now it's the CM Punk and the Kingston match. You're like, oh damn, I forgot about this match. That match happens. You're like, okay, main event's coming. Now it's this 10-man Falls Count Anywhere tag team match or something. You're like, oh man, I forgot about that. And then now we get to the main event. It was just like this kept going and going and going.
yeah.
But yeah, overall, good pay-per-view. So that solidly gets my number 4.
Okay, fair play, fair play. So my number 4 is actually going to be I can't remember who it was actually. WrestleMania Night 1. That one, I felt like that was out of the two nights, that one was the strongest one. The co-main event, the Bad Bunny and Damon Priest picked up midway, and it just made it very enjoyable. Bad Bunny pulled it out of the hat more than he should have, to be honest.
Right.
And of course, the main event, Sasha versus Bianca, was epic, absolutely epic. It woke me up. Like those 2 matches definitely woke me up because that was quite a lengthy pay-per-view, especially with the delay at the beginning. And obviously for us UK folk, that was what 4 a.m. You know, so it can be quite painful. But overall, it was good. It was also refreshing to see like a full capacity crowd after such a long time, even though they went back to the Thunderdome afterwards. But it was nice to see a crowd that was lively and just, you know, just happy to be there. Obviously, there was some throwaway matches, like we said earlier, with the Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon match that didn't do anything for nobody. That was one of the worst storylines of the year, I think.
Right.
But Cesaro got a good showing. It was a great match against Seth Rollins.
Did he lose that? I can't remember. He did lose, didn't he?
No, Cesaro won.
Yeah, he won.
Oh.
Yeah, he got the win, man. He got the W.
Yeah, he got the W,
Okay.
man. He did that spinning thing on his back, like on his neck and stuff. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah.
God, that felt like forever ago. Wow. I mean, it kind of was, but wow.
Yeah. But overall, that was it was just good to because it was the first of it in a long time for most things. It just was the strongest one in my opinion out of the 2 nights that had more worthy matches, more memorable matches. So that's should I say out of 2 nights. So yeah, WrestleMania 37 night 1. Okay, so
damn, we're all putting like some really kind of like strong reviews. Okay.
Yeah, not bad, right? Not bad, right? Okay, so let's go to number 3. All right, number 3. All right, so let's see. You know what? Screw it. Matt, you're first. What's your number 3, please? On the top pay-per-views of the year.
For this one, I'd probably say another NXT takeover. NXT takeover Vengeance Day.
You know, I never did that one. Is that the one where it's not the one where Adam Cole turns on this player, is it? Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that one.
Dunn versus Balor.
Yes. Yeah, that was.
Wait, who versus Finn Balor? What was the main event?
It was Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor for the NXT title.
Yes.
And then afterwards, you know, like Dunn, Lorcan, and Birch all attack Finn. Undisputed Era comes out, and then Kyle extends the hand to Finn, and then the heel turn happens.
When was that pay-per-view? Is that like Money in the Bank sort of time? Is that like I say recent, but like was that like summertime or start of the year?
Yeah, it was early. Yeah.
So spring. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was early.
Oh,
It had to be
right.
because obviously that was the start of the Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly thing, and obviously there was a little break before he went to AEW, so it makes sense. It was mad early.
yeah.
Right, yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay,
But
I didn't
overall,
think about that behavior.
but it did like aside from like obviously that, it did have like solid matches such as like Io versus Panoni versus Mercedes Martinez, which was a solid match.
But that's the one where
Um,
she jumped off the scaffolding, right?
yeah,
Oh, right,
even
yeah.
though for me, I didn't particularly want Io to win, but like yeah,
She had
I'm
just
all
one. Wait, wasn't she like the champion?
yeah, she was champ. Yeah,
at the time, yeah.
You didn't want her to retain.
I wanted Mercedes Martinez.
Oh my god, don't really stand her. I feel like she was like a lost cause in NXT as well, man. Like,
she
no one wanted
was
her to
like, I
be.
feel bad for her
It
because
wasn't
she's
her
a
to
great
be
wrestler.
something big, and she just was never that person for me.
Yeah,
I'm not
she's
saying
not
she's
a
bad.
WWE person. She's not a WWE
Yeah, I'm not
person.
saying. Yeah, I'm not saying that she's a bad wrestler or anything like that. I heard
No.
RIDEZ is wow.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that she's a bad person or that I just dislike her as a wrestler. I'm just saying that it felt like whenever they were bringing her into NXT, it's almost like they don't know what to do with her, or they try to do like they try to they try to kind of make her into like the Shayna Baszler kind of character, but then it's kind of not. I don't really get that from her. I don't. But then I wouldn't want to see her as like a babyface either. So it's kind of like.
Yeah.
Good point.
I hear that.
That
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of Ty Valkyrie, like the way how they tried to push her in one way, and then it didn't seem like she had a direction. And then she only had like 6 matches or something like that, and then they released her.
I mean,
to be fair, I don't. To be fair, I know I haven't really seen many of her matches and stuff, but I just feel like they definitely pulled the rug from under her. Didn't really give her much of a chance. It looked like they had an idea, and then they kept on just changing it every from what I could see from the outside. That they were just really dragging their feet with her, and for some reason, it felt like a carry-on cross situation where, all right, we give you all these chances, it's not working, so I guess it's your fault. All right, bye. That's what it felt like. Same thing with Karrion Kross, where they try to go through these. They changed his gimmick for no apparent reason, stripped him away from everything, stripped him off everything, put a flipping gimp suit on him, send him out there. It doesn't work. Okay, so we're gonna go to
not the gimp suit.
It was weird. It was like it was trying to teach BDSM through WWE. It was really weird.
I mean, I didn't like it either, so I get it, but it's not the gimp suit.
It was fucking weird. It was so funny. They stripped him away, put him all this stuff, didn't work. Okay, so we're gonna give you this American Psycho thing. So you dress in a suit for like 2 weeks. Okay, somehow it doesn't work. We think it doesn't work, so it's your fault. Okay, bye. You know what I mean? It's like it's really weird. That's how I felt like they treated Tyra Valkyrie. So
her name was like Frankie Monet, right?
as well. I think so. Right?
Yeah.
Her name was like Frankie Monet or something like that in WWE, right?
Yeah. Another thing as well that I think she even said it as well. It's because of her age, which is absolutely hypocritical. Yeah, she's like in her mid-30s. So they basically said it's mainly because of her age. Which when you have Goldberg, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, all these men that are like 40 plus, and you're saying they wouldn't take her in because of her age. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
I mean, I didn't even know that one, so you told me something here.
Yeah. That's what it pretty much came down to, her age and just this mismanagement. Simple as. But yeah, how did we get into this? We were
talking about Vengeance Day, and then people getting released.
Yeah, NXT and this downfall. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
That is your number 3, right?
Yeah, that was number 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
Right.
What are you saying, Matthew, sir?
And then one other match I'll give a shout out to is Gargano versus Kushida. I was thinking that match was a solid.
Oh, match. I do remember that match.
Okay, I need to see that pay-per-view.
Was Kushida in the releases, or is he on like 205 Live now or something? What's his deal?
He's in a tag team now with some other guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's in a tag team now.
And he's still in NXT. He's not in like.
Yeah, he's still in NXT. Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that he's like I mean, I haven't been watching the weekly shows, but then I haven't kind of seen his name pop up recently.
I do
so
feel that he doesn't fit the current mold of NXT right now, so I don't know what's going on. But he's still there. He's still there. So we'll see.
Okay.
All right. So, RIDEZ, what about your number 3? What's your number 3, please?
Right. Oh. So my number 3 is Survivor Series.
Wow.
This is an interesting pick. Please divulge.
So you need to unpack all of that.
Okay, what are we? Is the general consensus that we didn't like Survivor Series this year? Is that what you guys?
No, I didn't say we didn't like.
Yeah, this is why you need to unpack this. And
no,
well, I mean,
I'm not saying that. Just that me personally, it's not. I'll be spoiler alert. It's not in my top 5. So that's why.
Right, it's not in mine either. It wasn't even a contender.
I mean, look, for me, I mean, naturally, the big fours for me are always pretty exciting anyway, at least looking forward to the anticipation. I know they don't always necessarily live up, but Survivor Series, I don't know, usually hits them up. I'm really big on the Survivor Series team matches. Like, I love them. Like, the women's ones, the men's one, all of them. Now, let's not fail to acknowledge the fact that they did that stupid thing they did previously where Raw just dominated SmackDown. I think that was BS. However, matches themselves, I think the hype was all there. All the matches were good. The final 2 in the men's match coming down to, I think it was Seth and Jeff. I thought that was a good, they had like a good little run in there. Becky and Charlotte was very intense. I really enjoyed that match. Again, kind of similar to Charlotte and Rhea, where I didn't think it was good, just because we've seen it over and over again. I just thought, but I feel like this time with that element of their real life beef, you never really know, do you? But the implied real life beef kind of added to the drama to it, which I thought was really good. What else did I say? Just like
you're talking about the elimination matches. Those.
The elimination matches.
So because you were saying that you like the matches for them being good.
I just think you
like the women's one, like really.
Was it that bad? Was it that bad?
You know, I'm the advocate for women's wrestling or anything like that. I will be the one that for all of us. But
Bianca won, so
you're gonna sit here. You're gonna sit here, yes, and you're gonna you're gonna sit there and wholeheartedly say you enjoyed the women's elimination match.
I enjoyed the pay-per-view as a whole. That's what I'm talking about.
See how you're backpedaling now. See that? Okay.
Look, you can enjoy a meal and not like the salad, didn't it? Like you enjoyed the meal overall, didn't it? But...
Fair play.
Oh God.
It did have its teething problems, but in terms of the match quality, you like most of the matches in terms of match quality, even though like certain things obviously worked. I think we discussed it. Me, and you actually, Mr Rymz actually discussed it in terms of obviously there was some teething problems and some logistical things that didn't really work out in the right. Especially in the elimination matches. But I think I can agree with RIDEZ as well in terms of like the Big E and Roman Reigns match obviously lived up.
What I was gonna say, usually Survivor Series, I'm hyped for the team matches, and like this time around, I was, like I said earlier. But if there was a match that I was even hyped up for more, it was Big E and Reigns. I was really happy going into that match. I was happy watching it. I would have liked to see Big E take the W, but I know you probably would have been upset with that, Rob. So
Big E was never getting that W. Like
but you say that, but I don't know how we supposed to take on both seriously as champions if you dominate one. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I get it. You're not dominating one. It's kind of like how Survivor Series was last year because Reigns was still champion then, but to legitimize Drew, it basically just meant that Reigns couldn't wash him. Like Reigns had to beat him, but you had to put McIntyre over in the match, which is what Reigns did. It's the same as Big E this year. Big E kicked out of Roman Reigns' spear. No one kicks out of his spear. I got so irritated with that. On the show we talked about, I was like, you don't kick out Roman Reigns' spear, and Big E kicked out of it clean. So you're just like, you kind of legitimize Big E by making him kick out of Roman's big moves. So Big E was put over in the match, but he just didn't get the W because Roman has to get the W for the longevity of it. Because even you say that, because you're saying that, you would like Big E to get a W, but then didn't he just get pinned on Raw this past week?
But this is what I'm saying. It's just continuous bad booking of him. And You know,
So,
I just
it's
if
like
he should look. Obviously, you can't control time, but what if that match was going to play out how it did, and Biggie was to lose to Reigns? It would have been better later down the line. He just won the title like not that long ago, and he's already like, do you know what I mean? It
that
hasn't
was
been
the same
that
with
long
McIntyre,
enough.
though. That was the same with McIntyre because originally he wasn't Orton the champion, and McIntyre won it on a Raw to face Reigns at Survivor
This
Series.
is true, but at least with him, he had the title before. Like Orton took it off him for like 2 minutes and then gave it back to him. So like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
But
Okay,
you make a fair point. You make a fair point. I'm just the Roman Reigns thing is a love-hate. Like I love what's going on, but at the same time, it's that it's almost like the John Cena thing where he's just always winning. But then the reason why it's weird and the reason why it's not is because he's a heel, and then he's such a good heel.
Yeah.
Then you can't hate it, but then you do hate it. Like, it's I can't explain it. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating going into a match knowing that the person facing Reigns isn't going to win, or feeling like that. I'd like to be pleasantly surprised one day, and it was I had that feeling with Big E. I had that feeling with Owens. Everyone else, I think, I just felt like Reigns was going to beat, and he did. So,
Okay.
But yeah, all in all, sorry, what was you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say to everyone in the comments. Please, obviously, leave in the comments if you are enjoying Roman Reigns' current reign of tyranny, so to speak, and also as well put your top 5 best pay-per-views in your opinion.
Let us know. Let us know.
Definitely, please, in the comments.
But Survivor Series, my number 3. That's me.
Number 3.
Ooh,
okay. Is everyone giving the number 3s? Because we've gotten very in depth individually. Okay, so it's clearly Mr. Rymz hasn't. So,
we both still got to do our number 3s.
Okay, cool. Mr. Rymz, take the floor, please.
Oh God! So my number 3, we've been discussing it already, but then because you guys, like I say, for some reason you guys split it up and whatnot, but I was going for WrestleMania 37, but I grouped it together as just one event.
Okay.
So I put it as my number 3. It goes to number 3 because 1, it was the first pay-per-view for however many months with no fans, so to have fans back was good. Night 1 hiccup with the weather was just like the icing on top of like cake.
It really was.
Like this is one of the ones that we've been waiting for the fans to come back. It was the WrestleMania that we were supposed to get the year prior, and then it's like the weather messes everything up. And you're just like, of course. And then it was just one of the ones where I do feel like Night 1 had a bit more oomph to it. It's weird because Night 1 was the night that the weather messed everything up, but yet every match felt relaxed. Every match felt like the wrestlers were taking their time, like they just kind of were letting things happen the way they should have, told their stories, and like everything was good. But Night 2 felt very rushed, like they were just trying to get through the card to get to the main event, and that was the only slow match.
It did feel like that. Even the first match did as well. That ended abruptly. The Fiend versus Orton. So
it's like all these matches. Like I felt like the whole of WrestleMania. When people do like highlight shows or they do highlights of WrestleMania and whatnot. If you were to put it on like I don't know TV, but not in its full form, you could probably get through like the first 3 hours of WrestleMania in 1 hour. And then spend the last like 45 minutes playing the main event. Like WrestleMania Night 2 just felt very much like they just go out there, just go through. Because I think every match was like under 10 minutes as well, something like that. Very cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then the main event was something like 35 minutes or like 40 minutes, something like that. That the main event was the longest and the slowest match.
Right now.
Yeah, Night 2 was literally they went out there and everyone was just like, just get the finish, just get to the match, right? But overall, because of the hype of WrestleMania and the fact that it was like the first big event outside, big arena, fans, and fan involvement and everything like that, I was like, you know what, it has to make my list. It won't be number 1, but top 3 of the year, I'll give it that.
Fair enough.
Okay.
We gotta see the times now. I think there was 7 matches. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
You checked.
7 matches. Yeah, 7 matches, and only 3 went over 10 minutes.
By how much?
So
The main event was like half an hour, but yeah, the other two.
Yeah, and then the second match was Nia Jax, which was the tag team match was 14 minutes 20 seconds, and then then Rhea Ripley against Asuka was 13 minutes.
Okay, Rhea and Asuka, I'm happy they can take 30 minutes. What the flip is Nia getting 14 minutes?
That tag team match. That was the tag team match where the crowd was really into Tamina. I don't say that.
Yes, you're right. I take it back.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody.
The crowd were really into her, and yet they lost.
Dumb ending.
Come on, man.
Dumb ending. Instead of giving them the big thing in front of crowds, they gave it to them in the Thunderdome. But hey, I digress. It was really
Wait, I've got a question. Who was the tag champions at that time? Because I can't remember.
It was Nia and
do you know who they are now, bro?
Zelina, come on.
Zelina and Carmella, yeah.
Who did they beat?
Not like the Royal Beauty.
Who did they beat? 5, 4, 3,
Natalia and Tamina.
2.
No, they beat Nikki Ash and Rhea.
Yeah, that was it. Nikki and Rhea, yeah.
My point. Everyone cusses these titles, and I feel like I gotta defend them, but it's hard. It's
right. Even I say that. It's like the women's tag belt.
It's hard to back it.
They don't rate it.
This is the same feeling I have when I used to defend Ja Rule. It's just difficult because they keep making all these problems. Look how the titles have been booked from day one. Not even like from 6 months ago, from day one. It's been bad, man. It's been bad. It's NXT have women's titles, right?
They do. Yeah. They have both.
What's the booking like there? Is it better?
No,
because it's the whole of Toxic Attraction, which is Mandy, and then the two. I don't know what their names are, but the two women that roll with Mandy
Dolan and JC James.
Yeah. But in terms of the whole booking of the NXT tag team titles, that has also been a bit of mix because they gifted them to one person. Or what I think it was Dakota Kai and Rachel Gonzalez. They lost it the same night, and then
to Emma Moon and thingy, right? Emma Moon and Shotzi.
Yeah. They had it for a couple weeks, then they lost it, and then I can't remember who had it afterwards.
Candice and
Candice LeRae and is it something Night Blackheart?
Her,
And Hartwell, that's the one.
But even then, that was forgettable. And now it's Toxic Attraction. So that one has not really been booked great either. So yeah, women's tag team title has been badly booked on both brands basically. It's just been.
To talk to HR, man.
But the NXT women's tag matches are better. Oh hello, the women's tag team
Randy
matches
Prizzle
are better.
Thoughts on Nia Jax getting released? Did you guys see that coming? I thought she was like royalty. Kind of shocked me in a way, but I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I was definitely surprised.
Nothing pleasant about it. I was like, oh my god.
And I see what he means about. Oh, I just clocked. You said pleasantly surprised. That's terrible. I was like, what? I see why he said royalty because of being part of it. She related to Roman, no? Like she's part of that whole
the Samoan dynasty.
Say what you will about her. I know she's not been perfect and she can be cringe sometimes, but overall, in terms of WWE, she was a typical WWE female powerhouse.
Yeah, she was a product.
She was an asset to the show in terms of what WWE want to do. Mm-hmm. So, but this kind of fuels the whole belief that some of these releases were controversial. It wasn't necessarily, hey, we've got nothing for you. It's more like
her one was definitely controversial.
Behavior behind the scenes, stuff about masks and vaccines and all this stuff, or money. Some people got big money contracts. I know Strowman, for example, clearly wasn't in no position to be released, but they couldn't come to terms with the money, and then he got dropped. So I don't know, man. It's been a sad 2 years for the releases. I really feel for them.
Yeah,
it hasn't even been 2 years. Hasn't it just been 1 year?
No, but they did it. They did it the year before as well.
Yeah,
they did it at the beginning of COVID as well.
Yeah, so last year and this year.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
But then if they didn't do that, we wouldn't have Miro and all these guys. So in a way, it's sweet.
For the most part, it's worked for people, which we'll obviously get into some point, one in another show or something. But
so you say Nia Jax versus Britt Baker, yeah?
No.
Samoa drop 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we don't come for DMD. Yeah, Britt Baker. No. Britt Baker, we like her here.
Nah. They already got their Nia Jax. They got Nyla Rose. Even that's a bit. Let's just move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Mr. Chaos, what is your number 3?
All right, yeah. My number 3. My number 3.
Oh my God!
It's not gonna be a WWE pay-per-view. It is actually AEW Double or Nothing.
What one was that one?
This one was the one where they basically had their fans back. The first match was Hangman Page against Brian Cage.
Yes.
There was Sting and Darby Allin versus the Men of the Year. There was also the triple threat match. It was Omega, Pac, and Moxley, I believe.
For the title, that was the main event, right?
For the title, that was a wicked match. So I'm also giving.
Oh no, that wasn't the main event. Wasn't the main event like a Stampede match or something like that?
Oh, sorry, yeah. So the main event was the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. And obviously the Inner Circle came down they repelled down. It was a big brawl. That match was okay. Actually, take that back. Was it? Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Moxley. It was Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy and Pac for the AEW title.
That was a good match.
Yeah,
and it wasn't the main event. It was like a middle of the card match, and the main event.
It was co-main. It was co-main.
Co-main.
Yeah, the main event was Inner Circle. Co-main was Kenny Omega. There was Miro versus Lance Archer, which Miro had a great heel moment when he had the bag with the snake, and he just kept on just throwing it in the crowd. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Also, there was Cody Rhodes against Anthony Ogogo.
No, that was good. I was in for that. The feud. Anyway.
What is the deal with Cody Rhodes? Is it just that he's getting the Roman John Cena heat? That's all it is, right?
Chaos. Do you know what? Chaos, correct me if I'm wrong. I think kind of, but then not for the same reasons. Roman and Cena got, like, the first incarnation of Roman and Cena got that heat because they were shoved down our throats as the good guys that kept winning, even when they shouldn't be winning. Cody isn't necessarily winning. Cody's lost a hell of a lot of matches, but I think it's just everyone knows he kind of politically has a say in running the show, and now he's gone Hollywood with his reality show. I personally don't see the problem, but I think that's what people are latching onto. Admittedly, I think AEW are running with it storyline wise, so it's probably kayfabe as well. But
yeah,
I don't know, because I don't actually see people complaining about Cody Rhodes. I just hear the commentators say it, so I don't even know if it's actually genuine.
I just hear him getting booed, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either, because like he hasn't done it. He's like you said, he's been lost a lot. He's not burying people. He's lost to Malachi Black. He's lost to what other people has he lost to? He's lost to other people. He's not gone John Cena on us, and he's not using his power behind the scenes to override anything. It's definitely not the case. But I think it's also the fact that people are not sure, like, what are you? Because I think I said it to you as well, where everyone notices that he doesn't come through the face or the heel tunnel. He's right in the middle.
Yeah, he comes out the middle.
And so he does that on purpose. Like, he doesn't choose a side, and people are getting pissed off with that, because like, what are you, like, what? And because people, the thing is with people, they want things to be very clear and blunt with them. So you can't straddle the lines, and because they don't know who are you, you just think you're special because you straddle the lines between the two, and also because they think he's gone Hollywood and is has head up his own ass, which I don't think so. I love this role, and I even like the fact that he's getting booed, but he's not being pressured to make a decision just because those fans.
He's just being Cody. He's just being Cody, and I agree with you. What I will say though, I think maybe it's just me, but I think maybe people are slightly turning on him because maybe his promos have potentially become a little bit cheesy and repetitive, in the sense of, like, almost like, do you remember Seth towards the tail end of his babyface run, where it was just like, I'm gonna fight and do this, and it just, okay.
Yeah.
It's just, and then lose. Like it's just, it was just, and then I think one of the last ones was he was just going very American, like UK sucks, and I'm gonna beat Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
definitely.
Like it was like whoa.
It was like Rocky versus
someone else.
Anthony Hayes or something. Yeah, it was very American. Yeah, very patriotic. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I was intrigued with the whole what's his name, Arn Anderson thing. I thought that was going somewhere, but then Malachi just randomly got involved. Yeah, and it just felt like, okay, you're kind of hyping Cody up, but then that didn't go anywhere, and then ever since then it's just been Malachi beating him up, and then now Andrade he's not even called Andrade anymore, is it?
Anderson is starting to be a bit of a liability. He keeps on slipping, and I mean literally.
And it looks real. It looks painful. Like man is in his 80s or something, bro. Like that, you can blood clots are real heart attacks. Like it's not a joke.
It's just starting to be a liability, slipping everywhere. He's
a small guy as well, so like it's just
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's a bit of a mad one.
Out this old man.
No, it's consideration and care that the company don't have. Like, it's...
Oh my goodness, worried. Bro, just play the number 2. Let's go.
Rhymes don't care, man. Rhymes don't care.
But yeah, overall, Double or Nothing is my number 2. That's So yeah, let's go. Number 3. That was my number 3.
Yeah, yesterday just wrote the number 2.
yeah, my bad. Yeah, all right, let's go to number 2. Man, that threw me off for a good second. All right, cool.
Everyone,
RIDEZ, can we please have? Can you tell me number 2, please?
My number 2 is the Royal Rumble. And I'm choosing the Royal Rumble because in general, if we're talking just the anticipation of like every year, Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of the year, of the calendar year. I just always look forward to it. So fun. There's never like a bad, like even when there has been a bad one, overall it's still exciting. I chose this Royal Rumble as number 2 because the Rumbles usually just are the main attraction, but I kind of feel like other matches also were good. Like Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens was a really good match.
That's the match that he got stuck, right?
Yeah, so they did have a blunder, but it didn't completely ruin the match. But there was a lot of things going on. I mean, at one point there was like the hit and run. Like Samoa's got a thing about running people over with cars, but it was really, I just thought it was cool. But there was obviously so many moments within the Rumbles as well, as usual. And Edge winning, I think at the time I was a bit like, but in hindsight, seeing what's come out of it, yeah, I'm happy for the dude. You know what I mean? And Bianca winning the women's one was really good because it really did look like they were going for Rhea. And I'm happy it was Bianca. And there were a lot of special moments. I love the moment where Bianca and Naomi were like hanging, trying to limit themselves, and then they were like, "Come on, man, let's do this together." They helped each other back in the ring, and I just thought, they should have been the final too. But yeah,
okay.
Number 2 entrant, yeah. They had the Iron Woman in the match this year because I think she even lasted longer than Bayley. I think.
Fair play. Mr. Rymz, what's your number 2?
Piggyback in. My number 2 was the Royal Rumble also.
Hey, great minds again. It's 2 for 2.
It's the thing where, like I say, I anticipate every year. I think I more anticipate it because I feel like I just want to see him return.
Pause 1 second. Who did you say that lasted longer than Bayley?
I said, was it Naomi that lasted longer?
Yeah, because Bayley only lasted 29 minutes. Naomi lasted 47. Sorry, 47. So that's a lot longer.
I told you she was the Iron Woman of the Rumble this year. They were trying to do that to show you that she is meant to be at that level. Whereas like they never seem to kind of push her to do anything else. But even in the Rumble this year, she was the longest one in the ring or whatever. But yeah, so every year you just want to kind of see who's going to be returning, who's going to be in the match, unless you get like Royal Rumble 2019, where they don't give you any returns, they just use everyone in house. And then what's it called? But yeah, this year I feel like decent amount of returns. I mean, come on, like in the women's match you had what, Victoria returned, and then in the men's one you had what, Carlito, super jacked and tanned Carlito.
Yeah,
returning.
man, looking good.
Jacked. Looking real jacked, baby. Looking real jacked.
So it was just like, you know, I kind of like, I would have liked though if, okay, as much as like I can sit here and be like, oh, 2019 for me was a bad year for the Rumble because everything was in house. However, I do think if you're going to do that, it would have made sense to have done that during the Thunderdome period. Does that make sense? Because imagine like if they would have saved those people that did return or make like surprise entrance and whatnot until they've got a crowd. Now it's a bit more of a moment. Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, no, I hear that.
So it's like it would have been nice if before that, but I'm still gonna take it away. It was still a nice little moment. But yeah, Rumble this year.
I kind of forgot.
Number 2.
I kind of forgot that it was crowdless. I think it was so good that it wasn't a problem. Like,
plus, obviously, remember they had fearfancrowd.wav playing in the background as well, so maybe that's why you forgot.
Oh yeah, was this the TVs? The like flipping?
Yeah, the Zoom calls.
Yeah. But then it's like I think I say like yeah, it would have been nice if it was Thunderdome and it was that weird. Remember they were using the 8K cameras.
Oh yeah. They still use them now partially, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they stopped that. That was the entrances were amazing. They did it for like 2 minutes and then they locked it off. On a side note, I always thought NXT's Thunderdome looked so much better. Like it just looked like flipping.
Really.
Yeah,
people complained about it because it just looked miserable and underground.
It had the screens at the side, and then it had the fans.
It looked like what Raw Underground should have been. Like it just looked good, like
100%.
You know? So
no, I agree. Oh yeah, remember Raw Underground? Jesus Christ.
Let's digress. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Please. Right. So Matthew, what's your number 2, please?
Not gonna lie, mine was Royal Rumble as well.
Oh my god!
Everyone voted for the Rumble.
Like for me, I like the Christian return. I wish. Well, obviously,
oh my god, I forgot Christian was in it.
Wait, yeah. How was that backfired in their face?
He was. Yes, he was.
Let me pull up who was in this thing, man. There was a few.
Because for me, I wish. Well, this is going into the conversation, but I wish Edge's win like had a payoff of some sort. Like if he went for the WWE title instead, actually won, instead of going for Roman Reigns and then losing the way he did. Even though obviously Reigns was like on the run he's going from that moment.
You know full well they probably wanted Edge to win the belt, but Edge being Edge was like, nah, he'll put someone else over because like, he's that guy. I don't think Edge is the one that like he wants to be like the champion and the face of the brand or anything like that. I think right now he likes to work with younger people. All of that sort of stuff. That's why he's like feuding with Seth. I think the only thing that he did was I think he was trying to put Randy Orton over, ready for Randy Orton to fight Drew. Did that make sense? So he wasn't doing it because of their 2 big names. I think they had the plan for Randy Orton to feud with Drew as a big contender kind of thing. So Edge was like, okay, he'll put Randy Orton over. In this case, he came back for the Rumble to feud with Orton again. But then if he's going to win, it's like, okay, then who do you need to legitimize more? I think at the time wasn't McIntyre the champ, but out of the 2, it's like you want to legitimize Roman Reigns more. So yeah, put Edge with him, and then let what's it called? Let Thingy win. And I think probably Daniel Bryan was like, oh, you know, his contract is up, and they're trying to keep him sweet. So they were like, oh, let's chuck you in the match too.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Are we sure? Yeah. Are we sure it wasn't like a WrestleMania 30 thing where it was supposed to in real life probably be Edge and Reigns, and then because of the fan reaction, they put Daniel in?
Well, yeah,
like, do you think that triple threat was always supposed to be the case? I don't know.
Well, we still got Edge versus Reigns. We just didn't get it at WrestleMania.
Just later,
yeah. So I think maybe like no, but then Daniel Bryan left right after WrestleMania. I think they put him in the match because one, they were gonna probably work him to his contract, and then you know Also, that thing.
I think they were still hoping he was going to resign. I think they were waiting to the very last minute.
So that's why you're like, okay, then so we put you in a really prominent spot. Maybe now you don't want to leave, but he didn't resign. So you're like, oh, okay, well, we still got a good match out of him, and he still did what he had to do. So boom.
Do you think if they had gone with Edge and Reigns, do you think Edge would have won?
No.
Probably not. No. Don't know why, but
I mean, like I say, I feel like he would have taken Reigns to the limit, like kind of like he did at Money in the Bank, in the sense where like Reigns had to like struggle to get that win, but Reigns is still going to get that win, in my opinion, anyway. Which is kind of what everyone's been doing to him. Like, I don't think there's been. It's weird because although Roman is a juggernaut in that respect, I don't think he's had a single title defense that he hasn't had to like really work for. So it's like they build all these people, like these tiny people that are meant to be like, oh, they're really going to beat Roman Reigns, and you're meant to kind of believe that they're going to do it, even though they're not. But yeah, it's a weird one there.
Fair
but
enough,
yeah, so come on then, Mr. Chaos. What's your number 2? Are you joining us? Come on, come on.
You got it's a what?
I said, come on, join us.
Come and join y'all.
Pick the Rumble, man.
Because my number 2 is Crown Jewel.
Oh, really?
My number 2 is Crown Jewel. Simply the fact because this, it blew it out of the water for me, to be honest.
You pick Crown Jewel over the Rumble.
I'm picking Crown Jewel over the Rumble. Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, let me just compare the cards. So wait, you got the Rumble. So you have what? Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler. Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. Don't care. Sasha Banks versus Carmella. Don't care. Bianca Belair versus match. Don't care. Bianca Belair winning in the Royal Rumble. Sure, it was cool. Nice some cameos. You saw Victoria come
He
back.
was so shook to say don't care. Did you see that? He had to check.
He was.
No, it was cool.
He knows the comments would have been on him, boy. Like,
No, the Rumble was cool. That one was fine. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, great match. Can't fault it. What is it? Does it stand out to be match of probably one of the favorite matches of the year? Not for me personally. Edge versus Edge winning the Rumble, divisive but understandable. I think I had someone else pinned for that. I think I had Big E pinned for that as well to win. That was my pick for the Rumble.
Was he even in it?
Yeah, he was.
Huh.
He was definitely in it, but got eliminated. I'm sure he was in it.
Talk to us about Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel. Yeah, Biggie was in it. He got eliminated by Omos. Yeah. So yeah, Crown Jewel. Obviously, Edge versus Seth. Unexpected, probably one of the match of the year candidates. In my opinion,
right?
Yeah, they had in the cell match. Goldberg versus Lashley was better than it should have been. Obviously, I was pissed off that Hurt Business was basically goobers. They basically got just fed to Goldberg, and that was it. But the finish at the end was good. Obviously, there was Selena versus Doudrop was a welcoming surprise. Obviously, I picked Doudrop to win because it's Doudrop, and for some reason Vince got a thing for big ladies jucking and jiving and just being happy and doing that kind of stuff, squashing little people like Selena. So it was a welcoming surprise. Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor, the match itself was pretty good, and another welcoming surprise because I thought that Finn was going to turn from Prince Balor to King Balor. Kind of makes sense there. But now I kind of know why exactly they also gave it to Woods, because of his dispute with the YouTube channel and stuff, and they were just like, yeah, just take that. This.
Nah, man, don't say that.
I think so. I think so. I think so. I'm sorry. I think that's the reason why. What else was there? Les versus Reigns was top notch. Everyone's very divisive on the finish, but it worked to their favor, and obviously hopefully it might pay off at day one. I just felt like overall there was more stronger matches than it was at the Rumble. You can't just pin just the two Rumbles on that pay-per-view just to be, for it to be, in my opinion, for it to be a standout. Sure, the Rumbles were cool, but everything in between was kind of like meh for me. Whereas Crown Jewel, there was strong match, and like for it to start off with a Hell in a Cell match as good as it was just like wow. So that's why I chose Crown Jewel over the Royal Rumble, in my opinion. I just feel like just because the two Rumbles were cool, even though the whole premise of the Royal Rumble is because of the Rumbles, you know, you need to obviously enjoy the filler in between, and they all fell flat for me compared to the Crown Jewel, where it was welcoming surprises. Pleasantly surprised, as what Randy said. Yeah.
Understandable. Mind you, though, on my original list, I did have Crown Jewel as my original number 2.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
I did have it as my original number 2 of the year, only because of the promotion behind it and the feel that it kind of really did feel like it was a big night. Like it just had a big night feel for everything.
Had no business doing that, but yeah.
Right, and I really actually enjoyed the show. Like it genuinely was a good pay-per-view. But then when I was kind of weighing up for for this year, like in terms of solid pay-per-views and everything like that, I was like, I can't not have the Royal Rumble in my list and whatnot. And then it's just like weighing up about all the others, and it's like I did enjoy the Royal Rumble at the time. I had to think about where I was mentally at the time and what wrestling was doing, and I did enjoy the Royal Rumble. So I was like, I have to give it to the Royal Rumble.
And I have to say, I'm not just saying this, but it was the same for me, Rams. My Crown Jewel was my number 2, and then slowly worked its way up. After you analyze the whole year, you're like, okay, it's number 2 quality, but there have been other better pay-per-views. So let's move you up here.
Yeah, think of where you were in your head at the time and how the Rumble made you feel, and it's like I can't.
We needed it.
Obviously, you said Big 4. I was like, well, when you say Big 4, and consider that into it. And I was like, you know what, of the Big 4 so far, because the Survivor Series was so bad, why you listed it so high, I do not know, but because that was so bad, it's like I'm gonna group it up the other ones, and it's like, Rumble is definitely a top contender in the 4.
Okay,
but yeah.
So we've got 3 of us that have said the Rumble, 1 of us that said Survivor Series, and 1 SummerSlam. Right?
Yeah, he said SummerSlam plays number 5.
SummerSlam didn't. Well, I suppose we haven't finished, but so far I'm surprised no one has. We're talking about big 4s. Usually SummerSlam is the better of the 4 outside of WrestleMania, isn't it? But that is a disappointed face.
SummerSlam had. I understand when we say bigger picture and stuff like that, but SummerSlam had one issue like that just kind of did not sit well for me, and that ruined the majority of the night for me. So therefore, it's like it's a throwaway review.
Is it something you can say? Is it a spoiler? I don't know.
No, it's the Becky Lynch return, isn't it? That just kind of left.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot about that. Oh yeah.
So it was like Becky Lynch returning, big moment. Bianca Belair losing in 28 seconds or whatever it was. No, I don't. And it's like regardless of I understand bigger picture. It made sense, but in that moment, you're like, I know. In that moment, it's like I want to let loot the high street.
I'm just saying.
Through the window, like,
I'm just saying, Kofi, Bianca Belair. If I was Big E, I'd be shook right now, man.
I think it's already. I'm worried for him at day 1. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried for him, especially now since he got Kevin Owens. Huh?
You're worried about who?
I'm worried about Big E at day 1.
Oh yeah.
So,
it's a triple threat, right?
Huh?
Fatal 4-way.
It's a triple threat. I haven't been watching. What's happening?
4.
It's now Fatal 4.
Seth Owens, Big E, and who? Don't tell me Drew.
Lashley.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for that.
So basically, rather than give Big E 4 solid solo feuds, they're giving him all 3 in 1 at a pay-per-view that we never had before. And to me, I think that's messy and lazy. But it is what it is. For what Kevin Owens is taking the forward. It just is what it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the win, considering he just signed like a new contract with them. Because usually this is what happens. Anytime they cohort or give someone a fresh new deal, they give them a little push, and then eventually they fade away in obscurity. They did it with Cesaro. Remember when Cesaro was like the face, like he was a top contender? Where the fuck is he now since he signed that new contract?
They did it with FTR when they were there.
Did it with the Bullet Club? Right, the club. I should say. They give them a little push just to warm them up, and then give it for a couple months, and then they just fall off, and then
out of all those 3 guys, though, if anyone should beat Big E, it should be Owens, like 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd say
But I
so.
don't. If Big E's gonna lose, I don't want him to lose so soon.
No.
Me
And
either.
then two, it's like if he's gonna lose, I don't want him to be the one that gets pinned. But then, I don't want him to be in the decision unless he's winning.
Yeah.
But then if he loses, If he loses, the only two people in that entire match that can take the pin are Rollins or Owens.
Yeah, it's true. Lashley, you can't hurt him, and you're right. You're right. I think Big E needs a lot. I know you guys say he's not the same as Reigns, but he needs to have that Reigns reign. Like, do you know what I mean? He needs to have that for a while. Like,
It is starting to. I ain't gonna lie. It's starting to feel a lot like, to me, in my opinion, it's almost starting to feel like a lot like Kofi's reign. Whereas,
no, don't say that.
I'm starting. It's starting to feel very mid cardy. Because Kofi's reign, when you look at it, it was very, very mid-cardy. When you look at
Kofi's reign reminds me of Mysterio's reign. When Mysterio,
no, because Mysterio was main event.
But he kept on losing a lot.
But he was always in the main event.
Okay.
Kofi's matches, even on SmackDown, he was always on the mid card, even though he was champion. And then it's like CM Punk, when he was champion, he was always on the mid card. Mysterio, when he was champion, he was in the main event.
Fair.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though Mysterio was always losing and whatnot as a champion, he was always in the main event. So it's like, I don't know. Big E, at least I haven't seen Big E have a mid card match yet as champion, but he did take a pinfall. So hey. Didn't I even saw that? He's been quiet like this whole time.
I was gonna say, what's your take on the Big E title reign? And are you frozen?
No, he's still there.
I think he's really watching his NXT or whatever he's doing over there. Like, damn.
I think it's been a good reign. Like, but the only thing I'm thinking is, how long do you actually go with it? Because for me, like, I don't see. Ideally, for me, I wouldn't carry it on until WrestleMania. Like, I would make him at least before then. Like,
I wouldn't carry on to Mania.
Not carry it on.
I wouldn't. No.
Mania's around the corner, man.
Because I think you should lose it before then. Like, either to like.
Wow. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone's saying goodbye to Matt. He's been
yeah. Bye, Matt. It was good having you here. We'll send you a gift basket.
He had a good run. He had a good run.
How did they release Mickey James again? It was a bin bag, right? We'll do that. We'll send you your stuff in the bin bag. Yeah, you good.
Oh my God.
What's this about Hornswoggle I'm seeing in the comments? What's this?
Oh God, what is this? Fake news.
You imagine.
Oh my God. Some people, we made it to number one.
What's that? What's that TLC match that they had? Was it WLC? When it was
oh my God,
the guy with the horns against Hornswoggle. What was it? It was WLC.
Yeah, the mini.
Apparently, that was a really good match. Apparently, it was really good. I still need to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
how did that come up?
I don't know. Moving swiftly on. Let's go to a number one. All right, numero uno.
We've reached number one, folks. The best pay-per-view of the year.
All right, Brides, the floor is all yours. You deserve this. Ooh. Number one, please.
Right, pressure. Well, my number one. I'm very happy with it, but like you guys have mentioned it a couple times. It's WrestleMania Night 1. That's my number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My number one is WrestleMania, specifically Night 1, not Night 2. Night 1.
Oh.
And it was, let's just keep it real. It was an amazing return to live crowds. Yes, they had the blunder with the weather and all that, but I think they powered through it. I think they put on a good show. I thought every match was big, man. And it's funny because we were kind of clowning Braun and Shane, and it was an absolute stupid feud. But even just having a cage match at Mania was pretty interesting. Like, that was different. And Cesaro and Seth, probably the best pure wrestling match on the show. And I'm glad. I was just so happy for Cesaro. He deserved that moment. I thought Lashley was very dominant in the opening title match. I was so happy that Drew didn't, because it looked like Drew was going to win or Lashley was just going to be the transitional or whatever. But Lashley it was at that point that I was like, yes, now you are WWE champion, because prior to that, he'd only won it
on a roll.
I don't know, like a beat down Miz. So he hadn't really proven himself yet. Like I said, Cesaro and Seth, chef's kiss at that. I thought Bad Bunny did an amazing job. That is the best celebrity match I've seen in a while. Better than Mayweather's, who for a long time I thought that was entertaining, but this blew it out of the water. Dude was actually training and actually did the moves. You have to hand it to Miz Morrison and keep forgetting this brother's name. What is his name?
Priest.
Priest. All three of them did their part to make the match work, but Bunny proved that he could be trusted as well. Personally, if we're talking about entertainment, that was potentially the best match on the card. Second to the main event, maybe even shared. The main event was just monumental. I mean, you got two women. Yes, we've had the main event with women before, but I just felt this felt a little bit different. It was also extra nice. Yeah, it was extra nice that it was a one-on-one match and it was SmackDown and there was no gooky gimmicks involved. And I'm not going to lie, like, I'll keep it real. Two black women, two deserving black women. Yeah. And listen, it was it had everything. It had physicality, it had entertainment. Listen, that gunshot hair whip thing that happened. I screamed. I think I rewinded it. Like, it was a lot. And and then the win at the end with, like, I think it was Bianca's dad or something almost falling over the barricade. Like, it was just it was perfect. After so long of just having Thunderdomes and no audience, it was perfect. So that was number one for me. As a fan, as that little young boy that used to watch wrestling, that was my moment for me. So
you summed it up pretty nicely there, man. Definitely. That's some good.
That's why I'm surprised it wasn't your number one, man. Like, what are you putting it up as number 4, 5? Choosing all these other random pay-per-views above it. Like, I'm like,
random, you know.
You know what?
WrestleMania. Come on, man.
Nah. Because of that, you're gonna have to. I'm gonna go next. I don't give a fuck. My number one. I'm telling you, my number one now. Yeah. So my number one is AEW All Out. That's my number one.
Dude, no. You're
maybe no.
To go as the host. One, you shouldn't have gone before us. And
I don't care. You pissed me off. He's trying to say.
No,
it's all good.
That is also my number one.
It's all good. What? Nah. You pissed me off. He's like, what?
What did I do? How did I piss you off?
How dare you putting up WrestleMania number 4 and 5? And now you said,
you're like, oh, how are you guys gonna put WrestleMania so low or whatnot? It's like, WrestleMania was good, don't get me wrong, but there was still, like, in my opinion, 2 events better than it.
Okay. Let's hear what Rob's got to say about All Out.
I ain't gonna take too much time. I just felt like, they went at it felt like a pay-per-view that they had something to prove, even though there was nothing. You know, there was no need for it, but they felt like they had something to prove, and they wanted this to make it feel like it's their version of one of the big fours. And All Out pretty much is, even though they don't have a pay-per-view every month, but effectively you could say that Double or Nothing and now All Out are that the big, more important pay-per-views outside of, and then there's Revolution and there's Full Gear, you know. So this one was obviously, every match was like just nailed out of the park. They were lengthy as well. I think almost every match was like almost 20 minutes plus, but it didn't feel like they were dragging. There was Jon Moxley against was it Satoshi Kojima, Miro against Eddie Kingston, great opener for the TNT title. There was the Lucha Brothers against the Young Bucks in a cage match, probably one of my top 3 greatest tag team matches of all time, in my opinion. It's one of my favorites, definitely. There was obviously Chris Jericho versus MJF with that stipulation that was in there. The return of CM Punk. Come on, his first match in 7 years. Come on. Obviously, there was a bit of a lull with the Paul White stuff and QT Marshall, but obviously that was like a throwaway, a purposely placed
break
throwaway. Yeah, bathroom break 110%. And then obviously Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Christian Cage again proves that he still can main event a pay-per-view. In my opinion, hasn't really lost a step. And of course, the one of the two awesome debuts, Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole in one night. You usually just get one.
Yeah.
But we got two back to back in the same night, and it was just perfectly done. If everyone that's watching, please go and see my review of All Out. I was marking out like crazy when I saw that. I can't really fault that paper. I think it was near perfect. That's why I think it was my number one. Nothing's really come.
My number one too. My number one all the way as well.
There you go.
It's definitely my number one. I think it was the closest wrestling pay-per-view. Sorry, it's the closest to me being young, and that kind of really, I don't know, excited feeling for like what's gonna happen next after pay-per-view ends. And I don't know, I haven't had that from a WWE pay-per-view in the absolute longest. Like even with John Cena returning at Money in the Bank, even with Lesnar returning at SummerSlam, I'm not like, oh, I need to watch Raw, I need to watch SmackDown. I'm like super excited. It's just kind of like
internet was buzzing for ages when those debuts happened. Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson.
It was like a thing where it kind of felt like, so I guess this, to me, I guess the best way to describe it would be like, so when you watch these revisionist Attitude Era documentaries or whatever on the network, and they're always like, oh, when Scott Hall and Nash went to WCW, and that particular moment, I guess, was WCW shots fired, basically, right? When it's like, you know, they're coming for they're basically coming for war. So in this case, I feel like this pay-per-view was AEW's shots fired, because it was just like, it was like a thing where it really was like a WWE wake up, like, you know.
Yeah,
this is how you do it. Because it was big, and it was kind of like one of those moments that was like, whew, man.
Yeah. Besides Punk, obviously, you know, Punk could have went anywhere, and obviously, you know, it would have been one of the greatest things of the year. But I mean, in terms of debuts from people that's coming from that other company to here, that was obviously one of their biggest debuts. And you know, even outside of WWE, their stock is pretty high, in my opinion. Like, you know, so 110%. That was definitely, everyone was knocking at WWE saying, hello, these guys are fucking doing some madness over here. And, you know, people are looking forward to
wake up, like,
people are looking forward to seeing Dynamite. You know, people are looking forward to, like, people are going over there and no one cares about Monday Night Raw. Like, wake up, you know what I mean? So 110% agree that it was a proper, definite, like, fuck you, we're here now, like, and this is our squad now, because I think, in my opinion, that, you know, the roster is perfect now. I don't think they need any more new additions. I think, you know, it's pretty much near full capacity, in my opinion. I don't think they need anyone else in order to, you know, elevate themselves. They got people, obviously veterans. They got people that's got stock in them, that's obviously from WWE, and they also got their, as they put, their four pillars, which are homegrown talent. You got Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, MJF, Britt Baker. Like, that's
not Hangman Page.
Yeah, it wasn't Britt Baker. It wasn't Britt. It was another guy. Yeah.
No, it is Britt Baker. Britt Baker's like, she's in one of the four pillars, but I thought she was like kind of tied with her and MJF.
No, because that was the whole point of CM Punk's joke. It was MJF, Darby, two other guys. I think it was who is it? Darby, MJF,
Jungle Boy.
Yes, that's it.
Yes. Yeah.
It was those four: Jungle Boy, Darby, MJF, and whoever the other guy was.
Hangman Page.
Yeah.
And then MJF now been replaced by Britt Baker. Boom.
Yeah.
DMD.
Well, not literally Rhymes, but it's that. But I did think her winning the title, because she won the title at that show, right? I'm pretty sure she did.
I believe she did.
All Out.
Yeah. That was killer. That was killer. I was there for that. I just want to know who's gonna beat her now. Like, Okay.
This is my thing with AEW. AEW's women's division really just needs some serious help.
It does.
It does.
Like
I as I say, I stand the women's divisions wherever I'm watching it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I feel like
it's not as strong as WWE's.
I don't know what it is about AEW's division, but even Impact has a better division than AEW. I don't know what it is about their division. It's just very kind of full of wrestlers that are wrestlers without really like character or personality. They're just good wrestlers, and that's it.
Yeah, like them random ones like Red Velvet and all them. Like they're good wrestlers, but in terms of a character, like
why I should care? It's like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's like in Impact, they all got characters and they got they wrestle, so it's like it's good. And then in WWE again, they've all got characters and there's like meaning or there's something to kind of follow. But in AEW, it's like we're all good wrestlers. That's it. And it's like when you kind of when you try to get to kind of see their character, but they don't really have a character. It's kind of like It's a hard one, but I'm gonna still root for them.
Fair enough. But yeah, like I said, going back to just rounding up my one. So yeah, my number one was AEW All Out.
My number one was AEW All Out. Mr. Matthew, you have the main event spot. Take it away.
I'm gonna say Money in the Bank. So,
wait, what? Man.
Whoa, excuse you? You're number one.
Money in the Bank. Please,
my number 5 of the year was your number one. You didn't really watch that much this year, did you?
Wait, what's Rise doing?
I'm waiting for this explanation. What?
Yeah, like come on, guy. We here. You have the floor. Sell it to us.
Because right now you're starting to think the way it's going, he's just like Money in the Bank.
If you really don't want to huh?
I think for me it stands out because of two moments, but with the Rollins and Edge match, I like that one. I can't even concentrate. I like that match. No, what am I talking about? Edge versus Roman.
Money in the Bank was that? Edge and Roman. I was gonna say
Edge versus Roman. I like that match. It was good. Good build to it and everything.
Randy agrees. Come on, people. You need to explain this match.
You're gonna make people unsubscribe, bro. Come on now.
Okay, let's stop making him laugh, guys.
Yeah. All right, please.
Well, I like Cena coming out at the end because for me, growing up, brought me back to the days when Cena was my favorite wrestler. Like the Money in the Bank match, gonna sound like a hypocrite, but I think Biggie winning the Money in the Bank briefcase was the best decision WWE made. One of the best decisions.
Not one of the best decisions.
Is one of the best decisions.
Oh, about to say. Okay.
I heard you. That's why I'm calm. I heard you.
I had to do a double. I was like, wait, did he say not? We can go on. Go on.
Yeah. Obviously, there's parts of pay-per-view that's crap, but so those are the moments that stand out to me, really.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm confused. So even though there was some decent moments, but it was a couple stinkers, you still think that it outdid All Out? It outdid WrestleMania Night 1? You think it outdid Crown Jewel? That's what I'm confused about.
I mean, not gonna lie, I was gonna go for All Out, but the only reason I'm going for that is because I didn't watch majority of the pay-per-view. I watched the Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson debuts, but I'm just thinking to myself, what I saw, I can't go for that because obviously I didn't see it from my own eyes.
Oh, okay, fair.
See, go ahead and watch it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and watch it, and I'll wait your message and for you to say, okay, I was wrong. I'll wait. Don't worry. But trust me,
I'm semi the same. I came in on the Jericho MJF match, which I think was still quite far in. So I came in then, but then it took me a while. I think it was I'm gonna say month or so before I went back and watched the others. And even then I've still only kind of watched them through highlights. I haven't actually sat there and watched the whole pay-per-view as one. But All Out still for me, I think counts as my number one.
So you didn't even watch it in its entirety and it's your number one?
It was because it was that good. Oh my god! Like that's what I'm saying. If I can watch half a pay-per-view and it still be like the standout of the year, then what's that telling you?
It was originally on my list, but then I suppose I did some rethinking, analyzing, and yeah. All Out was a solid pay-per-view. But
Rumble 2021, 37, All Out, Crown Jewel, AEW Full Gear, numero 1 Superfly.
So Full Gear, I was considering it, but really, it was just the main event that I liked. Like the other matches were great, but not great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I thought most of the matches could have easily been on Dynamite, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good show,
matches.
but it wasn't like top 5 of the year. The main event was solid. The outcome was solid. Like that was cool, but unfortunately, you can't choose a pay-per-view based on one match. That's signs of a poor pay-per-view. So
that was my argument as well with the Rumble, where you can't just base off two like the main premise of the Rumble to be any higher and instead of something else, because the rest of the meat in between needs to be just as good. So yeah, it makes sense. But okay, fair enough. So that's everyone's number one.
Do we have any honorable mentions? Because I feel like we kind of mentioned all the pay-per-views that were like.
I don't know. Do you have honorable mentions?
My honorables were All Out and Double or Nothing. I thought they were, if we were doing a longer list, they were definitely 100% been in there.
Okay, yeah, that would enough to be my honorable mention as well. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both solid. I think I wrote
maybe an NXT takeover. Maybe the one that the takeover that they just had. Oh, was it War Games?
Oh, yeah, War Games.
That was fun. I mean, I feel like the booking of the women's match was a bit weird, but it was fun to review.
I still need to see the War Game. I haven't seen about 3 War Game pay-per-views. I think the last one I saw was when Adam Cole got driven into a table by Tommaso Ciampa. That was the last one I seen. So I need to catch up.
That was like years ago.
Exactly.
I didn't get to finish typing my reasonings for my honorable mentions, but what I did write down for Double or Nothing was the Hangman and Cage match was really good, and I've actually watched that more than once. The Battle Royal was really fun. It was good to see because I'm pretty sure that's where Leo Rush debuted. Am I lying?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a good debut. I feel they could have used him better, but I think Caster did a cool rap that day. That was when he was going after Christian and Goldust, I think. And I think Jungle Boy was the right person to win. That was the Stampede
great match
as well, right? I don't know what it is about Jungle Boy. He just hasn't like. I don't know what it is about Jungle Boy. I want to like him, but I kind of just don't.
He grows on you. But
yeah, he grows.
Am I right? The Stampede match was there? Is that Double or Nothing?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was. Yeah. And they like flipping did the abseiling and all of that.
Yes.
And the limos.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was Double or Nothing was very good.
It was solid. Very, very good. 100%. Okay then, fair enough. So that is our top 5 pay-per-views of the year. Again, please make sure, just like Numero Superfly did, please leave your top 5, whether it's in particular order or no particular order. Please leave them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. Now, of course. So now we're going to obviously transition to our personal top 5 worst moments in wrestling.
Good Lord.
So yeah,
you mentioned some of mine
I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. I just know it. So yeah, let's just run into that now. Number 5, please run the clip. Yes, sir. Number 5. Okay, who wants to go first? Since we got a lot of heat from going second. So yeah,
yes,
I don't know, man.
All right, Mr. RIDEZ, please take the floor.
So my number 5 worst moment. It's a bit of a cheat because I suppose it's everything kind of mushed into one. But everything to basically do with the Vince McMahon egg and Austin Theory and all of that crap.
Oh my God!
I mean, do you know what? I'll say that it got a little bit better on Raw because Sami Zayn is such a gem. But on Survivor Series with the egg, with it going missing, those awkward segments with
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
No, Austin Theory was
Reigns.
No, yeah, well, awkward segment with Reigns, Sonya Deville, and my man, what's his name?
Adam Pearce.
All of that was, man, because Austin Theory wasn't until Raw, but the Survivor Series segments, horrible.
Yeah, they were like really random.
It was awfully random. Obviously, it was they worked out some deal with the movie Red Notice. We all know that, but the way they worked into it, it was like, in fact, most of the promotional stuff have been awful. Like I remember when was it at Mania where Xavier Woods came in with some water thing on his back.
SummerSlam.
Was that SummerSlam? What the fuck was that?
He came in with the water, and he
was
just
to
like
the Miz Morrison
drink
or whatever.
Yeah, it was
promote water.
Yeah, it was for a drink. It's a promotion thing. But it was for some drink that is some American drink.
And it was the same same as Survivor Series, wasn't it? What's it called? The what's their names? The Red Cups, Street Profits. They came with the pizza.
The pizza. Yeah.
And what about the flipping zombies as well?
The zombie. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah. We're gonna get into it, definitely. Yeah. So the promotional stick stuff has been absolutely a dumpster fire.
Abysmal.
So absolutely below abysmal. I'm so glad that Thingy doesn't do that. AEW doesn't do that. I think
it's coming. It's coming.
It's
Don't
coming.
worry. It's coming.
The bigger they get, they'll do it.
With the
it's money.
It's money, but if they do it tastefully, then it's fine. I think they did one, but I think
you see how goofy the Young Bucks are. They're going to do promotions. They are not going to do it classy or anything like that. You know full well if they're going to do it, they are going to like pander. and the thing is because that's the Young Bucks character. If you're going to make them pander to advertising and whatnot, you use them people. Yeah, because we get it, and that's their characters. Like so, that's why it's coming. Maybe not so far yet, but it's coming.
Fair enough. Okay, so RIDEZ one is anything with Vince McMahon and his egg. Fair enough. Matthew, what is your number 5 worst moment that made absolutely cringe and hate your life at that moment?
For me, it's not a moment; it's more a change. Like for me, it's NXT becoming from the black and gold brand to what is now NXT 2.0.
Art Attack, basically. Wrestling Art Attack.
Yeah.
Right. I don't get it, personally.
It's basically... Sorry, go on. Sorry, this is yours. Go on, Matt.
That's all right. I feel like NXT's lost its hype since they've done the change. Like, obviously, they've introduced new stars like Braun Breaker and people like that who's, like, been solid. And they built them up well. But I think the general feel, even for this War Games, for me, like it wasn't the same. Like for takeovers and stuff like that, you would expect like good things to come out of it. But for me, just something just missing. Like
I feel like it definitely is confused. It definitely doesn't have its own identity because it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's basically it's almost like you know I'm even gonna go that way because we're live. But it's like obviously trying to cater for the kids. They're making it colorful and bright, but yet still they're having this kind of like sensual raunchiness. Well, obviously you got what's my baby's name, Mandy Rose, and this kind of edgy stuff. But then you have like the commentators wearing old jeans and looking old cool. It definitely doesn't. I don't think it's found its ground yet. I don't know. I don't think they definitely don't know what it wants it to be. But they kept on complaining that probably the black and gold brand was stale, hence why they moved it. But in reality, Vince got pissed because they lost to AEW. That's why they moved to Tuesdays, and then it's all Triple H's fault. That's why I think. Yeah, I agree. NXT has not done anything better. It's good. It's good that they're actually bringing in new people. That we haven't heard of, which they stuck to their promise. They're building people. But yeah, I agree with you, Matt. That 2.0 does not know what it wants to be, and they just going as they go. They're just deciding as they go along, kind of thing. Hold on.
I don't like how they're not acknowledging how my man is not Scott Steiner's son. Like
I know it's backwards. Randy says, I 100% agree. I don't like NXT 2.0 at all. There was heart and soul that they completely buried it. Too much new talent, haven't eased their way in, and combined them with a lot of top stars.
I can see that. Like, you're just blending the whole roster, so there's no kind of like, he's an established star, he's a brand new star, but yeah, it's kind of just like, everyone just on an even playing field.
Kind of, but it kind of also buried the old brand when it was Team Black and Gold versus Team NXT 2.0 at War Games. And 2.0.
Oh, is that genuinely what that was?
That's what it was.
Yeah,
it was just like, we're the new guys here. Fuck you. This is the new school, and that they're old school now.
How long has it been going on? The new one. Like, could I go back and start watching?
It's been about 2 or 3 months. Yeah, since summertime.
So there's a lot of
NXT
stuff to watch.
There's a lot of stuff to watch. Yeah, 100%.
Because I think initially I thought, this is an opportunity for me to now start watching NXT. I can start again, but everyone's just crapped all over it. It just put me off. Like,
well, no, I'm not crapping over it entirely. I'm just saying that, kind of like I think we spoke about this before, when it's like when they do things that they're trying to solve a problem that wasn't really a problem to begin with. You know what I mean? Yes, I can understand if you're saying the Black and Gold brand is a bit stale and maybe you just want a new look or a new feel, then you give it that. But then and you give it like a new look or a new feel, but you kind of like completely change the entire thing overnight and kind of expect it to just work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't even like they just eased into like this 2.0. It genuinely was this week we're starting
and they actually call it 2.0. That's the funny thing. Like,
they're not even. The thing was that like there was even storylines ongoing, and they merged it into that. Like I think there was that creepy guy. He was having a wedding, but that was ongoing way before, and he just merged it into this. And it just like, why? Why couldn't you wait until you wrap everything up, and then just do a season premiere, then do it? But they just forced it in. So it's absolutely backwards.
And still got some of the kind of NXT workings of the old, and then a whole bunch of new stuff going in, and it's just feeling very basically it just kind of feels like you're watching like a Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, I thought that's the angle that they were kind of going for. The more
I mean, it's not as bad as Raw. Don't get me wrong. Like, you're not watching it, and then I don't know a guy comes out dressed in like the Colonel from KFC and stuff like that. It's not that bad, but it's not like it's not.
You're gonna see the 24/7 title on NXT. I'm sure, man. It's gonna happen.
Bro, don't be surprised.
Logo is mad. I feel like I got NXT bed sheets, man. That's how colorful that shit is.
Randy thinks you'll be disappointed if you watch NXT.
Thank you.
You ain't missing much. Trust me, you're not missing too much. I mean, this is not my NXT. I miss obviously when it was the takeovers and Black and Gold brand. There's nothing wrong with it. Maybe obviously you need to bring some new faces in, but the color scheme wasn't that bad in my opinion. The quality of the matches weren't that bad. It was just.
I think that's probably all it is. I think for WWE, because they're not a brand of. I've noticed this in terms of like the production quality of everything, and it's like when you watch things outside of WWE, the production quality is very dark.
Yeah,
and maybe that's what it is. Maybe for them, they're just like, well, NXT is too closely resembling their competitions, so like if they just make it bright and look like a WWE product, then maybe they can get away with kind of all of that sort of stuff, which is what it does look like. It's all bright and colorful and white and just everywhere.
Yeah.
So I get that, but then it's just like meh. I mean, it's not a bad watch. It's just not like I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Exactly. All right. On that note, Mr. Rymz, what is your number 5, please?
Oof, my number 5. Okay, I went with Karrion Kross's main roster debut.
What made event run? Flipping hell.
Can I ask? Are you talking about like when his music played and just him coming down the ramp, or like his actual match, or what?
I'm talking about his main roster debut, as in like his first debut was on main event. Like,
yes,
he had a couple matches on there, but
what? Are you serious?
Yeah,
he
he
started.
debuted on main event.
Wow, I thought he debuted against Hardy. I thought that was his debut.
That was his Raw debut.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
But then
he faced like Cedric the Entertainer and Shelton Benjamin on the main event. And then
Cedric Alexander, mate. Alexander, good lord.
Cedric the Entertainer, man.
It's just weird because he was this was going, sorry to cut you, but this was going simultaneously while he was main eventing on NXT. Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So Karrion Kross is everything. It was just like a whole, I don't know, because when he was on the main roster, they kept mentioning him and putting him up and bigging him up, but then he kept coming out without Scarlett. So you're kind of missing a huge part of his act and his allure, because that's what she was. It's like you can't kind of have him without her because she was part of his act. And then when they were like, oh, they played his hype package, was it like at Money in the Bank that they played his hype package? Or no? Or
nah.
They played his hype package somewhere, because basically the only reason he had his match on Raw was because they were debuting Jeff Hardy's entrance music, because Jeff Hardy was changing his music when the crowd came back. Get it?
Yeah.
So it was like they're like, oh well, we're gonna like Karrion Kross is gonna come up, but they played like a whole hype package for him, and they're showing you this like person that they're trying to build or whatnot. He comes out with the NXT belt again, no Scarlett, and it was just kind of like, okay,
no pyro, no smoke machine. It was just
it was just like a kind of standard entrance that
unfinished.
kind of just didn't. Yeah, it looked a bit messy, and then the match kind of happens, and he's there like working over Jeff Hardy and stuff like that, and then it's like Jeff Hardy misses a swanton or whatever it is, so it's like, okay, then Karrion Kross is gonna get the win now. Jeff Hardy like power bombs him out the corner and then puts his foot on the ropes and gets the 3. You're like, oh.
Babyface Jeff Hardy does a heel move, and this is an aging Jeff Hardy. Keep in mind, why did he? Why did he need to win? Why did he do that? What does this do for Karrion? It was so many questions. There was like in that moment, it's just like, but you're trying to debut, and the thing is that Karrion Kross was still NXT champion at the time.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy beat him. Like Jeff Hardy,
that undermines the NXT division when you do that.
Right.
It's like you're saying the top guy on NXT at the time is not up here with us lot on Raw. That's what you're saying.
Right. I mean, at one point you had Kevin Owens beating up John Cena or whatever, but then now you have random mid-card Jeff Hardy beating Karrion Kross. And then it's like, at the time, Karrion Kross is now coming out on NXT because he's feuding with Samoa Joe, and that was meant to be like this really big heated feud. Yeah. And then at that takeover, he comes out without Scarlett, and he's being all jokey and all everything. And it was just kind of like really weird, like how he wasn't takeover. And then on Raw, this is when he debuts the quote unquote gimp outfit and whatnot. And then 2 weeks later,
mask, right?
Yeah, with the mask
and the levers or whatever.
The only thing is missing is that thing you put in your mouth, that ball thing. That's the only thing that was missing. That's the only thing that was missing.
What was his story behind the costume? Like storyline?
Nothing. They didn't give you one.
Story. He just came out like that.
He just came out like that, and it's like
bondage. You know, Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the ongoing joke. You look like a gimp version of Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it was Ann Summers and just
yeah. And he debuted it the week after he lost the NXT title. He came out. I think he had 2 weeks of that gimmick or whatever, and then released. You know, just like, whoa.
Yeah, like he lost to Keith Lee, won against Keith Lee, won the third one, then he lost again to someone, and then that's when he was
Bearcat Keith Lee was also losing during this time.
Yes, Keith Lee
was losing.
Bearcat Keith Lee. No, not Bearcat. Sorry, the one before he turned to Bearcat. Yeah, before he turned to Bearcat. Yeah.
But again, he turned to Bearcat with no explanation, and then boom, released. It was just like, oh my god.
It just feels like punishment. Sorry, man.
It really does.
Go on, Matt.
I've just seen an article though that's saying apparently Karrion said that the concept of that change was apparently to get some gladiator look and to some Colosseum days. That was the whole apparently reason behind that change.
Okay, but then that was never his character in the first place. Like, even if you're gonna slowly introduce that. Don't just come out one day. This is a gladiator out of nowhere. It's kind of like, what the hell?
It's like, and most importantly, There was nothing wrong with its original gimmick. It worked.
Right, yeah.
He had the most badass entrance on NXT. Like, his entrance is freaking awesome. There's nothing wrong with it. Why did they go and fuck it up? Excuse my language, but why did they do that? I will have no idea. And I think he outright said that this wasn't his choice. They thought they done that, but the way they make it out as if, oh, it's your fault. Out the door you go. Like, how is that fair? How does that make sense?
It doesn't at all. This is why Karrion Kross gets my number 5.
Fair play. Has everyone said their number 5?
It's you.
Oh, it's me. Okay, my bad. So we go into depth. That's what we do at Take It to the Table. We just keep going on and on. So yeah, my number 5, I put basically was the Zombies match with the Miz and the Priest. Damian Priest. This was an absolute dumpster fire. As we all know. Have you guys seen it?
No,
are you talking about the ending or the match itself? Was the match
the match itself, unfortunately, or like how it led up to the match during the night?
Okay.
Wasn't it just meant to be like a lumberjack or a match originally happening? But then
it was meant to be a lumberjack match, yeah. And then I remember the Miz. I think John Morrison was the Miz told John Morrison to go and talk to management to say, like, can we not make this a lumberjack match? Then Morrison went to this room, and then it ended up being full of zombies. Scotty Hotty was in there as a zombie for some weird reason. And then they started.
You can tell that.
Yeah, it was definitely Scotty Hotty. 110% was Scotty Hotty. He was a zombie. He was a fucking zombie.
So flipping random.
And then that was then that match happened, and worst thing, the two cringe-worthy parts about it was that Morrison was doing his parkour stuff. He got caught somehow by a slow zombie, mind you, and then he gets dragged behind the barricades. He just disappears. Eventually, Priest wins, and then we're led to believe that Miz is getting eaten alive by these zombies, and then he just faced the black.
Hurt himself as well.
Yeah, and he tore his ACL during that for some bullshit promotion work. His first injury ever. I think that was. And yeah, it was absolutely infuriating. Had no business being in that pay-per-view.
I'm looking at the picture.
What was it? Was it Extreme Rules or something?
No, I think it was WrestleMania Backlash. Go on.
I'm looking at the picture of Scotty as a zombie. There's no way you saw this and said, "Yeah, that's Scotty to it straight away." Absolutely. I
thought that was Scotty.
Yeah, he definitely got that. Like he definitely tell who's who.
That's hilarious.
And apparently, the other zombies were the current NXT 2.0 roster.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
If you go back now, that's your Easter egg now. You go back and you'll see them all day. You'll be like, oh. There's Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Whatever. All right, but yeah, that was my number 5.
I think that's fair.
I think we can only get worse from here. Number 4.
Oh
yes, number 4. All right, so
we're back.
Back to RIDEZ. What is your number 4, please?
My number 4 is a match that took place on Monday Night Raw between Charlotte and Nia Jax.
Oh God!
Yeah,
the whole thing was very sad to watch. It was just like I don't know. It was just
someone didn't know if they were fighting or not, right?
Yeah, it's just awkward. It's just uncomfortable. And the thing is, about a year or so ago, kind of similar, kind of not similar. It happened between Charlotte and what's that girl?
Nia Jax.
No, not Nia Jax. The one who always has the handkerchief and
Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
Oh,
The difference is it wasn't beef. It was just the fact that Lacey supposedly wasn't good in the ring. Everyone was like insulting the match back then. Me, I was like, no, it's cool. It looks real. It looks like a real fight. Like it's supposed to kind of be a bit sloppy on purpose. This time around with Nia Jax and Charlotte, it was just this is not WWE. This is not
Right.
entertainment. This is not like I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting here. Like, because in storyline, weren't they both heels already? Or was Charlotte a face at the time?
Yeah, they know they were heels.
So already that's already weird. And then they both have legit heat. But I don't know, man.
It was
Nia recently said that like she loves Charlotte and there was no problem.
I don't believe him. I just think I just got a feeling that she must have had some dirt on her or something. She was just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna be cool with you. But yeah, I think there was legit. I mean, you can make it look like a shoot, and it still looks.
That's the term I was looking for. Some matches look good when it's
not
100%. When matches are not smooth and everything's done perfectly and it looks rough. Sometimes that's good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was Becky and Charlotte at Survivor Series.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
No one can say that was flipping. What was it? The first Reigns against Lesnar match back at WrestleMania when Seth cashed in. That was a hard hitting match, but it looked good. Like it was hard hitting, but it looked good.
Yeah.
This it looked professional. They were not on the same page. And you know, with Charlotte, if she doesn't get her way, she just doesn't give a fuck. Like
they weren't selling.
No selling. Nia was blatantly telling her, Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. I will slap the shit out of you. And she did. It was completely unprofessional. There's no way they can cover that. They just weren't they just weren't on the same page. Something happened. Something was said backstage, and they was like, fuck this. I'm gonna make it look bad.
Nia probably said she has too many title reigns or something. I don't know.
Basically, man, I just feel like Charlotte was waving her imaginary shovel.
That's the thing.
Don't give a fuck.
That's the thing. We don't know the ins and outs of what happened, but for some reason I just blame Charlotte. I just feel like
oh my god!
When all else failed, blame Charlotte.
I feel like whatever Nia did was justified for some reason that Charlotte did. That's just how I feel. I don't know.
Oh my god! Okay.
I mean, look what happened with her and Becky on SmackDown. Come on, volatile person.
Now going into my number 4, then, seeing as he's mentioned it, my number 4 was the title exchange between Becky and Charlotte.
Hey, we didn't even plan that. Look at that.
That's my number 4. Smooth transition.
Segue.
You see that? You see that right there? Yeah.
That's it.
Legit. That was a moment that never needed to happen. It was a moment that, I honestly thought. How can I put it? When they're doing the shake up or they're doing the draft, whatever it was they did, I can't remember what it was. But then when they're like, okay, we're gonna switch the champions.
Dumb.
It doesn't make sense to switch the champions if the champions are specific to those brands, i.e. the tag team champions or the women's champions, right? Because they're branded as opposed to like the IC title or the US title.
Yeah.
Like they can just swap and it's fine, or the Universal and the WWE belt. They just swap, it's fine. So, and then I read, I read somewhere that apparently Charlotte was having issues with this anyway because the Raw before Survivor Series. When was it when she had the match with Belair?
No, it wasn't Survivor Series. That was
No, it was the Raw before it, or was it 2 weeks?
Oh yeah. Sorry, it was the week before. Yes, it was. Yeah, the Raw. Yeah.
So Charlotte wanted or was advocating to drop the belt to Belair because it would have been a big payoff for Belair,
which would have made sense. Yep.
And then you keep the belt to Raw, and then I guess at Survivor Series, if they really wanted to do Becky and Charlotte, let it be for the belt and let Charlotte win or whatever you're going to do. I don't know. But in this case, they were like, well, Charlotte's going to keep her belt, Becky's going to keep their belt, and then on SmackDown, you're going to make them do an exchange or whatever. And it's just like, okay, this is like lame. And then I guess Becky wanted to do her 2-belt moment again. Charlotte don't want to do it, and then they drop the belt.
Makes it look bad. Like,
it just looked, and considering it's the main event spot, it was just too messy. It really was.
I have a question for you. With this Becky Charlotte thing, I knew about it because everyone talked about it, and then I went to watch it. Similar to the Nia Jax and Charlotte thing, everyone talked about it first, and then I went to watch it. You watched this as it happened.
Yeah, I watched it live.
Was it awkward live?
Yes.
Like, could you tell there was a madness going on?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you could tell. Lynch was seething. Sonya was like, she was like, "What the fuck is going on with you two?" Kind of thing.
Like Sonya Deville was like, she was just like, I don't know what to do here. And then it's the thing where I think Becky was trying to grab the belt, and then Charlotte kind of like turned, and then she dropped it, and then at that point I think Sonya Deville was like, you need to pick up the belt, so Charlotte goes and picks it up, and then she handed it to Deville, and then Deville is now handing Becky that belt, but then Becky threw the Raw belt at Charlotte, and she dropped that one as well. Oh, yeah, the belt. I mean, sorry, she dropped the Raw belt, and then she dropped the SmackDown belt. But the SmackDown one was the accident one. I think the Raw one, I'm not sure. Like, but either way, it's just real sloppy. Even when they edited it, it's like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't meant to happen because they cut it straight. They cut it from their show. You can't find it anywhere on their official channels. So that was not meant to happen. So
yeah, that's terrible, man. It's funny because about a year or so ago, they did the same thing with the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But the reason why I like that is because they literally mocked how stupid it was. That Matthew, still with us?
Yeah, sorry.
I think he's kind of.
What's going on? There we go.
They literally, like, Xavier said something off the cuff that was just like, this is like the best thing. Like, he was mocking like the fact that they're swapping the titles, but it wasn't disrespectful. It was just funny, and it was just like, just swap the titles, done. Yeah. But with Becky and Charlotte, didn't they actually make it a main event segment?
Yeah, it was like they kept hyping that. This was hyping. Why? And then they were hyping it because I think they were meant to do something with Sasha Banks, and then even when they were doing their random interviews to hype the Charlotte and Becky thing, Becky said in the interview that the whole segment, as bad as it was, made Sasha Banks look bad, and that's who it was meant to put over. Because it was meant to start. It was meant to start everything for Sasha and Charlotte because Becky's not anything to do with it, but yet. Charlotte messing up and whatnot makes Sasha Banks look bad, and it was like, I mean, I didn't see it like that in live.
Why did it make Sasha look bad?
Well, because if she's meant to start their whole thing, but then Charlotte's treating the belt like, or dropping the belt, or just acting up, then apparently that's how she saw it or how it came off. I mean, I just felt like when I was watching it live, I felt like Sasha Banks was sent out to save the segment, Because her music just randomly played. Like she had no, like it wasn't needed to kind of be like, it's a surprise return, or it's like anything. She had like no business being there, but she just came out, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, I think Becky should have stayed on. I think she should have stayed on SmackDown. To be honest, they didn't.
Well, with WWE, if they're gonna move people over and whatnot, or they want Becky on Raw because she draws in ratings.
Plus, they love to keep couples together at the same show as well.
But Seth Rollins was Seth Rollins isn't required on Raw. I don't think he draws ratings like that.
Wow,
if that makes sense.
Okay, that's another thing we have to discuss another time.
No, you know what I mean. Not like that. I mean, like like Becky into the draw. If you get what I mean. Yeah. So if you have her on SmackDown was already doing good, and I think it's still doing good now, right? But Raw is the failing show right now, so it's like you need to put. They do that thing where they keep nerfing SmackDown to put all the stars on Raw, so everyone goes to watch that. But SmackDown just is the better show to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
In a weird kind of way.
Fair play.
But yeah, sorry, I digress. That's my number 4. Number 5.
Yeah, that was
number 4.
Yeah, that's your number 4. Yeah. So Matthew, what's your number 4, please?
My number 4 is repackaging. Well, Superstars being repackaged as a whole this year because I feel like none of them work.
Who?
Because changing like the characters, the gimmicks of like different stars this year.
Oh right.
Like changing Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo to Los Lothario.
Oh yeah, they're a team now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're an official team now.
So you're saying in general, like just generally the repackaging that's gone on, you're putting it as one. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Because I think
which is kind of true because people are either we don't care or they have been released. Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, the Garza team. So yeah, I guess
they're called like Los Cut.
Low
Saturn.
Saturn. We know it's low Saturn. So.
But even one person like that we haven't seen, and he was supposed to be repackaged.
Currently fired, even though his laugh is irritating as hell. Okay.
Elias.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, Elias. Elias has disappeared. Yeah.
So the last thing I saw about Elias was he was randomly walking around the woods or something, and saying he's gonna throw his guitar. I've not seen him. I don't know. It was like they took the camera outside into like the woods and stuff, and he was like saying he's gonna get rid of his guitar. I don't know what happened to him. I never saw him again.
Yeah, I'm fearing for him. I'm fearing for him because they have not. Usually, it doesn't take this long.
They need an Amber Alert or something, bro. Like his man's missing.
Yeah, like where is he?
To shoot a flare into the sky, like
100%.
We gotta find him.
Lost.
Missing in
action. He is a lost cause. I don't know what is going on with him.
That's just another example of how that was probably supposed to be this new gimmick that they either put a hold on or just scrapped with no explanation, and now the commentators got to act like they never talked about it last week, and it's just
I
don't know, man.
Yeah, like if he was a real commentator, you like I'm pretty sure I can imagine Corey Graves actually saying, "Hey, yo, what happened to Elias? You know, what happened to him?" kind of thing. But it doesn't matter until Vince makes it matters, and if like that's like they don't have any control. Once they say something, it's intentional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to the commentators or anything like it's hold on. Someone said so. Numero Superfly says they dropped the new gimmick of Elias. It wasn't going anywhere.
It didn't start.
It didn't start. We didn't say it. Of course, he wasn't going anywhere. It was like that emulation thing. That's basically what it was. It was just segments. Did it make its way to the actual show? Or was it just segments? It's just vignettes. Vignettes.
Yeah.
Man kept saying Elias is dead, but when you see me, I'm gonna be a new person.
Also, what happened to that guy that wasn't the guy that used to roll with him? Did they release him?
No, Jackson Riker. He's on the main event.
No, he's released, bro. Yeah, Jackson Riker
got released.
Yeah, he got released.
He got released. Wait, I thought he was I thought he was on main event. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was part of the last cuts.
Because they split and they looked like he was pushing him to this army guy and then just disappeared.
Yeah. I remember.
I know that he was on main event. I know that he was on main event. Like even when you look on the network on the last few shows, he was there. Like he was facing Morrison on there a lot. But I guess
there you go.
Yeah. Once you go down to the main event, that's the writing's on the wall, bro. But yeah, he was definitely part of the last bunch of cuts.
I can't believe they cut Morrison.
But I knew he had.
Yeah, I still can't believe that. But yeah, carry on.
Mm-hmm.
I know he had immense heat anyway. No one really liked him backstage because of obviously his association with
Riker.
Yeah, Riker. Yeah, he had a lot of heat backstage.
Wasn't he the one that got the he was the one that got that team in NXT fired, right?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, because he loves Trump. Yeah, him.
He might as well have had the Confederate flag on his shirt.
He might as well have. Raz got triggered on the Elias.
I'm just curious. I'm not even angry. I'm just curious. Like, yeah.
That's what we'll go with.
But yeah, fair enough. Who's number 4?
Number 4?
Is that my number 4?
Yes.
Okay, so my number 4.
Repackaging.
Yeah, that was a repackaging. Yeah. My number 4 would have to be pretty much anything that involved Alexa Bliss, and especially anything that involved Lily.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely.
Worse.
Yeah, it was cringe fest, bro. Come on. Anything that involved the Alexa playground, the flipping thing where it was winking at Dewdrop. Remember that? Live on TV. Like, kept doing that annoying little laugh shit. The awkward program with Alexa and Eva Marie. Dink for Nowhere.
They did something mad with Asuka as well, I think. And that was before the crowds came back, so they did camera tricks and stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
She turned into Alexa Bliss again, innit? The goddess in the ring.
Yeah,
so that was interesting.
Even the I'm not sure if it was last year. I'm still put it in there. The bullshit she did with Randy Orton with the fire and props falling down on the floor and all this shit, and the bullshit ending to the WrestleMania match with the Fiend, which is coincidentally, the last time we ever saw
they
the
never
Fiend and
went
Bray
anywhere,
Wyatt.
did it?
Didn't go anywhere. Didn't fucking go anywhere.
He like bleeding the black stuff, and then it
all
kind
the
of
black
just
stuff,
like
nothing. Just cost the Fiend pointlessly. Yeah, all the promos. Like I know she was a bit over with the crowd when the crowds came back. I think that was just the kids because obviously she's got the ponytails and she's got a toy. That's only the kids that was over with. But the whole thing. This is the former women's champion.
Do you think this is Bliss now, or are we gonna see the old Bliss come back? Like
I think we're gonna see the old Bliss come back. We have to because the way that match, the last match ended, it looked like obviously the doll's dead now. She was bawling her eyes out. She was meant to be foaming at the mouth, but when you saw that she had an Alka-Seltzer in the mouth and it just didn't blow, it didn't bubble, so it looked kind of weird. But I think that is definitely the end of that gimmick, and we're going to see old Bliss. I hope we see the old Bliss. We have to because as annoying as she was, it worked, and she was.
You should just debut her on SmackDown.
Say again.
You should just debut her on SmackDown, and then when they're like, "Oh, you look kind of normal," and then she will be like, "Should I bad kiss of the Mondays?" or something like that.
Yeah,
like a stupid excuse like that. Like it would just be like,
they would do something like that. What was this foaming at the mouth and crying? Explain that. What happened there?
Yeah, I remember. Who did she face?
Yeah, at Money. It's at Money. At Extreme Rules. It was Charlotte.
Yeah. It was against Charlotte, and then eventually Charlotte ripped apart the.
I remember that she ripped up the.
She was crying. Yeah. I remember she went under the commentator's table. She came up and saw the decapitated toy, and then you can, if you watch it, maybe they may have edited it, but when I was watching it live, I remember definitely seeing she was crying her eyes out. But if you look in, like when the camera zoomed in her mouth, there was this white tablet, and it looked like, I'm pretty sure it was meant to be an Alka-Seltzer, which is meant to make her foam at the mouth. So it's like she's this incarnation of her is dissipating, or like she's just changing kind of thing. But it was just really awkward. You just saw this white thick tablet on her tongue, but it didn't. I think it was meant to bubble up and to give it this whole thing going. I'm pretty sure. If you look, I don't know if it's on the network still, but yeah, definitely it did. It looked weird as hell. She was basically having a polo in the middle of her mouth. It was really weird. So yeah,
I didn't mind Alexa Bliss, but I get it.
So anything with Lily and Alexa is your number
4.
4.
Yeah, that's my number 4. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. So let's go to number 3. Number 3. Mr. Rymz, let's go straight to you. What's your number 3?
Number 3. Oh God, what was number 3 for me? Number 3. Let's jump ship. Number 3 was the terrible ending to the exploding barbed wire. This guy started spinning everything.
Hey,
for me, it was one of those ones where it was like, one, I am not. So okay, let's put it like this. There was an episode of the Dark Side of the Ring, where they were talking about the company that originated that match.
Yes. Yeah.
And how far they could take the explosions and all that sort of stuff, right? So I had never known about this match. Literally, my introduction to this match was through AEW and whatnot, right? And then so when they're like, oh, it's an exploding barbed wire match or something like that, I kind of got this impression where it was like, so I assumed if the ring ropes were going to be barbed wire, was there a match somewhere where it was like, weren't the ring ropes electrocuted? I feel like somewhere
you're thinking of TNA where the cage was electrified, and then but if they touch it, then the lights would flicker. Yeah, right. And then you would make it out like I remember that awful match. LAX versus someone. I remember. I think it was against the Dudleys. I remember that, and it was. I think I
remember Abyss being in that match as well. For some reason,
maybe,
it is what it is. But so it's like when they're saying exploding barbed wire match, and it's just like, okay, so I get the feeling that the ring rope's probably going to be electrocuted, wherever it is, blah blah. But it's like, is it a thing where if you touch the ropes, you're going to set off the bomb or whatever it is? I don't know. And then I didn't even watch the match. or watch the event or whatever because of times of work and stuff. And then I just remember when I woke up the next day and on Instagram, they posted the end of the match, and like everyone was like, "This is your like explosion. This is this. This is that." And it was like, "That was the explosion. Is that what's supposed to happen?" Like,
it basically looked like, you know, when you watch your Saturday morning cartoons, and then it's like the villain is finally going to get his day of, you know, succeeding in his evil plan, and then he presses the button, and then only gets let out of his part.
Yeah,
he's just like depressing it, like it's supposed to be a earth-shattering kaboom. Like, what the fuck?
Right, and nothing's happening.
Nothing's
it's like it was like some little kind of like, it's like a what was her name? You know, the girl in the yellow coat in the X-Men, Jubilee, the little glitter.
Oh yeah.
She's like, she fired the glitter. Yeah, it's like little fireworks, and it was like that was it, and you're like, oh, okay. And then the irony is that I saw that, and I'm like, oh damn, like, you know, their exploding match clearly didn't go over well with everyone, because I guess, you know, I'm not sure that's what it's meant to be. I'm not sure. And then I feel like a few days, weeks, maybe even the same day, I watched the outside of the ring thing, and I'm like, whoa. It's like when you watch those explosions, and you're like, oh my goodness, like they literally set up a bomb inside of the building under the ring, and yet AEW just did like some little glitter fireworks, and you're like, okay, clearly this is an issue. or not done well.
Yeah. Someone got fired because they did not test that before the show went on air. I got a feeling this did not test that stuff. So
not with a bang, but with a whimper.
Total whimper, and it just, and the thing is that pay-per-view was actually a decent pay-per-view, but everyone will just remember it just for that, and it feels so bad because it takes away all the work that the rest of the card was. You know, it's a shame. It's such a shame. Fair enough. Right.
That is my number 3.
What's your number 3, RIDEZ?
My number 3 is not going to require me talking too much because we've actually spent a bit of time talking about it. But it is Orton burying Wyatt at WrestleMania. That's it's just there's nothing really to say.
Would you say that he buried Wyatt?
Well, I mean, it's not a burial in the sense that we're used to. Like, I'm not saying he got the Triple H shovel out or anything like that, but it was just, it's WrestleMania, first WrestleMania back with crowds. They've had this feud going, that's kind of been going on for a while, and then now this is the culmination of it. WrestleMania, big theatrics entrance coming into the ring, and then Bliss randomly turns on him, and then RKO. The match was like 5 minutes, literally.
Yeah, the match was 5 minutes. It barely even got started. Cause I remember when we first talked about it, we did the review, and you said Mr. Rymz, but Orton is the good guy. Yeah, I know he's the good guy, but in this sense, Fiend is more over than Orton. No one cares.
Orton was not the good guy. Orton wasn't a face.
He was actually the face. He was at the time. He was the face.
No, he wasn't.
Oh my god.
Orton was the face in the feud. Where are you?
Orton was not facing that feud. He was still Orton the heel, bro. He was like, compare Orton then to Orton now.
Okay. Or people like Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Charlotte, to a degree Seth Rollins, like certain people are just like,
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
but
they
you
are.
can still tell what side they're on based on their mannerisms and the way they talk. He was talking the same way he was talking when he was cussing out Drew. And he was still kind of beefing with Drew at the same time as well. It was like,
but then the Fiend is inherently a heel character. He's over, but he's inherently heel. So it's just like in that feud, he was the good guy. So because Alexa Bliss was the heel, so it's like they were over, but they were heels.
I don't know if Wyatt and Alexa. I'm not gonna say they were straight up baby faces, but I don't know if they were the bad guy in the feud between the two. It's almost like Undertaker. Undertaker's like this devilish person, but when Undertaker was feuding with Randy, Undertaker was the good guy, wasn't he? Technically, Orton was the heel. I kind of
but in this case, I think it was because didn't Randy Orton do something? Didn't he obliterated the Funhouse, and that was the reason why?
Yeah, and ironically did that as a face. Funnily enough, back then, but I don't know.
Then again, I'm just researching it right now, and yeah, it does look. It says WWE intends to book the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss as baby faces in their feud against Randy Orton.
It was.
Yeah,
I 100% get what you're saying, Rams. Absolutely get it, but I don't think it applies here. I think if I go by his promos, Orton was being an a-hole on the microphone, like he was still being full Orton heel during that whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like Wyatt. What was Wyatt doing just before
Orton?
Yeah, he won the Universal Championship, and then he lost.
He was having a feud with Strowman.
Yeah, that's how
that's when they
got involved.
They had the swamp match, and then they had the title, and that's when that's when Reigns returned, and then that's when he went to, I think when Reigns returned, because he returned at SummerSlam, and then shortly after that, that's when it was the draft, and then that's when Wyatt went to Raw. That's how he got the feud with Orton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when was this feud with Goldberg? That was before.
Before WrestleMania.
That's 2019. No, his feud with Goldberg was at Super Showdown. You're facing my Mania.
February 2020.
In 2020, yeah, Super Showdown 2020, start of the year.
So he lost the title to Goldberg and was trying to take it from Strowman, or who had the title during the Strowman feud?
Strowman had the title, but then their swamp match wasn't for the belt.
Yes, I remember. You're right.
Yeah, it was
okay. Because he'd already been drafted by that time, but still had. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Okay. Yeah, it was a whole thing, but the fact that you're
maybe it was
pointing out the flaws, it clearly was a bad moment in wrestling.
Maybe it was Tweener versus Tweener. To be fair, you never know. I don't know, but
maybe.
Absolutely didn't want to talk this long about it. It was just that was a bad moment.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
Mr. Matt.
For me, I'll take the Hurt Business splitting up the first time.
Again?
The first time. How did they split up again?
Wait, who?
Hurt Business.
Oh,
yeah. Aren't they still called Hurt Business? Aren't they still a thing?
Yeah, they're in the back burner right now. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. But it's just mainly...
Well, they run main event.
Yeah.
Last thing I saw Cedric do was chase the 24/7 championship. So
he didn't chase it; he lost it to Dana Brooke.
Even more of a slap in the face. This is the Hurt Business. Sorry, Matthew. I'm
not a good thing.
Let you finish. I'm just saying that really the Hurt Business lost to a woman. Like, it's anyway.
Don't do it.
Yeah, like somehow Dana Brooke is surviving with these releases, and she's champion now, so we gotta give her props.
Yeah. It's all good. Proceed, Matt. Sorry.
But what I'm thinking, like, they technically have split up again because like it's only just Cedric and Shelton. That's classed as a Hurt Business, not Lashley. One of the first time was like MVP Lashley, Shelton and Cedric. And I feel like them splitting up the first time obviously hindered Cedric and Shelton, obviously. Whilst Bobby was going on the rise.
Nothing.
Whilst Bobby went on to
nothing for them to follow to squash the beef and come back. It didn't make no sense. Absolutely no sense. But that's the thing with Vince. He hates teams. He just, it's just one of them things. He just hates teams. Unless you're the New Day, he hates teams.
But it's weird though, because I felt like that the Hurt Business aren't a team; they were a faction. Whereas the New Day are a team.
Even worse so. Like, he hates factions even more. Unless you're Triple H or Randy Orton, he hates factions. What can I tell you? He just hates them.
But yeah, Hurt Business splitting up definitely was like a moment.
Yeah,
you didn't need to happen, but it is what it is.
It was absolutely dumb. And then but the dumb thing about it, I remember when after he did that, Bobby Lashley actually went out and tried to hire some goobers to go and take out McIntyre when he could have actually easily have had the Hurt Business at his disposal to go and take out McIntyre. Mm-hmm. What was the whole point? You're an idiot. You make Lashley look stupid. Anyway, whatever. All right. So, Mr. Rymz, have you done your number 4?
We done number 4. Yeah.
Okay, 3. No,
we're on 3 now.
No.
Yeah. So
we're on 3. Yeah, number 3.
You guys done the 3?
But yeah, we've done our 3. It's you.
Oh, me now. Okay, sorry, my bad. So yeah, my number 3 is basically, we pretty much dabbled on it earlier, but I'm writing it off as a whole. Anytime that Vince McMahon is on screen, so I'm talking about the egg,
Oof.
the Austin Theory thing. Just I'm even going to go back to last year when he was on screen with the Fiend, the awful the weird thing, that presentation they did for the Undertaker last year. I'm just running it up. Just lately, the past couple years, but this year especially, it's just I know he's an old man. I understand that, but he should know that as well, and he should stay off the TV. He's not the same as he's not the same as what we remember him. And he's, even the past episodes of Raw, I could barely understand what he's saying. It's like he's grumbling under his breath. Have you noticed? It's like he's just like an old man, just like expected.
No.
Like what? What are you on about?
I'm not gonna
What's
lie.
the thing with a pencil?
I haven't watched Raw in like.
I know you don't watch Raw, but just I'm saving you the pain that I have to go through. But like the guy, I don't know if you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it, Matt. When he comes out, he's basically saying like, "This is the greatest invention, and this is one thing I've been waiting to show you, the Austin Theory." And he comes up with a pencil and showing him like, "You know what this is?" And he was just like, "No." Yeah, it's a pencil. And he's like, "You know what the best part of it is? It's not the pencil part, it's the rubber. And I like erasing people with it," or some shit like that. And then it just fades to the next scene, to the next match. And I'm like, what was the whole point of that? Help me, please.
Well, what would have been payoff?
It makes no just anything. And obviously the thing with the egg and the awkward thing, like you said, with Roman Reigns, didn't benefit anyone. Fuck Vince McMahon. Simple as.
Oh God. I do not co-sign that. I do not.
I'm sorry, but yeah, he needs to stay off TV. And yeah, that's all I can say. Someone said, Numero is back on here, so he's saying that worst moments: Miz TV with Gilbert and Drew, the egg, the Jedi fight between Rhea and Charlotte. Oh yeah, with the walking sticks.
I remember that.
Shayna and Lily, obviously, and the repackaging of Keith Lee. Yeah, you got good points there. Especially the Jedi
Shayna
fight.
and Lily. Jeez.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was that backstage segment, isn't it?
That pretty much almost ruined everyone's that drove people over the edge when that happened. That everyone couldn't stop talking about that. I remember that.
What are you talking about?
The Shayna and Lily segment. That drove people over.
It was the main event of that Raw, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What did this guy say was? What did he say was awkward about Keith Lee? I'm sure I saw Keith Lee's name.
The repackaging of Keith Lee.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Yeah. I agree with you with everything you said about Vince McMahon. I do want to just put it out there as a disclaimer that I don't look down on old people. I understand they got their issues. Like if that's what Rob wants, if that's what Chaos wants to do, that's cool. He don't represent me.
No,
putting that out there. No,
the old man that's rich and he's on TV. I'm sorry, but you should stay away from. Just go and stay backstage. I'll say it. I don't give a damn. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, your time has been and gone. I'm sorry. Just in terms of being on screen, anyway. In terms of being
he does talk and walk and act like he needs to be in a nursing home sometimes. Like, like I'm not trying to be mad, but it's just a bit like. It's not the Vince from the year 2000. It's just
it's damaging.
It's a lot worse, but it reminds me of Kurt Angle when Kurt Angle came back.
Yeah. Kurt Angle, not the same as you.
Yeah, old people trying to still relive their glory.
I mean,
like,
Kurt's
sometimes not every day.
Not really. Yeah, Kurt's obviously not age related, but it's just I don't know, wear and tear.
100%. Fair enough. All right, so that was everyone's number 3. All right, so let's go.
Oh no, number 3 yet. Number 2 time.
All right, we're almost there. Number 2. All right, RIDEZ, please set the set.
This
Set the precedence.
happened. This happened on a pay-per-view that I said was in my top 5. It was Money in the Bank, and the pay-per-view was great. This was the one thing I didn't like about the pay-per-view, and it was Bobby Lashley completely obliterating Kofi Kingston.
Oh, that was Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Money in the Bank, right?
Money in the Bank. I mean, if I was to pull a positive out of it, it did what it needed to do for Bobby Lashley. I just hate that it had to be Kofi.
It has to Kofi,
right.
Yeah, twice, 2 powerhouses, but this thing was almost longer.
it was not necessary.
Right.
And the reason why it was extra bad was because the feud and the hype coming up to it was like, oh, maybe Kofi Mania 2. You never know. Like it felt like, okay, this is Kofi's time almost. Even if you knew he wasn't gonna win, you thought it was gonna be a good match. You didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You know that Simpsons meme. You know that Simpsons meme where like the kid's getting obliterated.
Stop,
He's
like, already dead. Yeah.
He's already dead.
And then the same thing that happened when he lost to just the next week or whenever he returned, just back like nothing happened. Like, hey, happy to be here. Let's shuck and jive. Like, it's just
right. And it was just and the worst thing is it's like, when it's one of those ones where I said earlier how even though Roman is a juggernaut, yet every single title match he's had, he hasn't washed someone. He's like had to work for that victory, right? So he's technically
unless you're Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah, but that was on SmackDown. That don't count.
I know.
But yeah, so every big match he's had to like work for it. He's putting over who he's fighting, and yet with Lashley, it's like they built that as like a kind of Kofi, was champion and he was a strong champion, so therefore it's like yes, he lost it in the way that he lost it, but he never ever got his rematch, and so blah blah. And they played on that kind of thing, and it was like, Kofi could go and whatnot, and you expect it to be a thing of okay, so Kofi's gonna get the thing where Lashley will win. We know that,
but a good match.
Yes, and then he just got like
obliterated. And again, I'm not trying to make it a race thing, but come on, we're black. Like we do have to appreciate there was 2 black men in the main event. This was great, and you want to make it further than that. Not just about them being black, but the first black WWE champion and the second black WWE champion. That's money.
Yeah.
And you just
you just had Bobby Lashley just wipe the floor with Kofi Kingston, just like literally remove him essentially from the title picture or in those lines. You're just like, okay, well, this is how you feel.
It just makes it hard to believe that we're gonna see Kofi ever come really win the title again.
Yeah.
After that and after Lesnar, like it just But I don't know.
So Kofi Kingston is a strong champion when he's not fighting the juggernauts, basically.
Yeah, but then what does it say about Lashley? He's never been able to do what he did to Kofi to anyone else. Like
but Lashley hasn't had any small as champion. He didn't have any small opponents.
So it's a size thing because Kofi ain't like Kofi's a small guy, but he's a big character. So you don't look at him as a small person. Do you know what I mean?
I get that, but then in terms of like, look at who Roman's fighter. Go on.
No, I'm just saying this is Vince. He favors beefy guys over, no matter how lean and cut you are. He favors them over shredded, over any day. You know what I mean? So
and then it's like with Kofi, it's like with Lashley, his only opponent really as champion was Drew. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's his memorable feud, really. Yeah,
that was his only feud with the title. Was Drew McIntyre? You beat
McIntyre after Kofi.
McIntyre, I'm sure.
Okay.
McIntyre.
Yeah. It was McIntyre did come back.
Yeah, but remember, McIntyre would not fuck off from the title. I remember that. Yeah, he just wouldn't go away, and that's what I was thinking.
There was the thing where if he lost the match, he wouldn't be allowed to fight for the title.
Yeah, it was
again.
the last chance.
Yeah, and then McIntyre won. And then Lashley won, and then it was the Goldberg feud.
Yes.
How did Randy Orton?
Lashley lost the belt shortly after, obviously, and that's when Big E cashed in.
That was Lashley was having a match on Raw with who?
Randy Orton.
Yes. That was it. Yeah.
So technically, for him to lose as a cash-in, it doesn't hurt him. But then in the same breath, it's like, he lost it in that fashion as opposed to like losing it like clean. So that's why Lashley is still protected. Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number 2. All right.
All right. So, Mr. Rhymes, go ahead.
All right, I'll keep it to the same pay-per-view. My worst moment was wasting the Money in the Bank on Nikki Ash.
Agreed.
Ooh.
Agreed.
That would keep it to the same pay-per-view. For me, I was like, I just had to pull up the card and whatnot to see who was in that match, as I remember it being a stacked Money in the Bank for the women, because you had Bliss, Asuka, Liv, Naomi, Natty, Tamina, and Zelina Vega in the match. Oh, and Nikki Ash, sorry. So again, all juggernauts, all people deserving of that, of the briefcase and whatnot. Fair enough, Asuka shouldn't need it again. She's just in there for the numbers. But everyone else in there, potential to kind of do something with that. And with Nikki Ash, it's like, okay, and I understand they're doing that thing where they're going to push her for potential and whatnot. I just don't think this is the way to do it, because since winning it, what has she done? Yes, she won the belt.
Yeah,
she
kept it for
a month. Yeah, she won the belt and whatnot. But again, I think so I think where I'm coming from for this is Nikki Ash is. I think the whole point is that she's Nikki, almost a superhero, right?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that meant to be the gimmick or something like that? So it's meant to be like basically she's essentially putting herself in the position to always be the underdog. That's the thing. You give her Money in the Bank and she wins the title the next night. She's not an underdog anymore. It's the same like when they brought Bayley up, and Bayley's an underdog character when she had the pigtail. So you give her the belt and whatnot, she's no longer an underdog.
So I agree with you in that sense, because although I mentioned it as one of the good reasons for the pay-per-view, I hear what you're saying. And I think what the problem was, yes, we aren't really going to relate to the gimmick and the characters. It's cheesy, it's for kids. But I think from a business standpoint, it would have made sense in terms of merchandise and kids and inspiration, and especially little girls out there. But then they messed it up because, like you said, she had the title for 1 month. They gave it to her too soon. Then she lost it too soon. And then literally went into obscurity afterwards, to the point where her tag team partner was on the Survivor Series team and she wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. Right. As the tag team champs as well. And yet she wasn't on the team, but Rhea Ripley was.
So they had, like, I'm not saying that we should like the character. You're absolutely right. Character's cheesy, whatever.
Okay.
But there was potential there business-wise for her to be huge. I think so. And if you look at it like that, there's something good there.
Yeah.
And I think and even with the briefcase, I think that wasn't too soon, but she should have just kept the briefcase for ages or something, and build and maybe eventually become a superhero. I don't know, but yeah.
But then even with the briefcase, it's like she's not the underdog. Get it?
Yeah, but then
like when you put the
be.
briefcase, you're not an underdog. It's like I feel like the only person that was kind of in the underdog position with the briefcase was maybe Dolph Ziggler. But even then, he still kind of wasn't, because he was kind of the last person I can remember who, with the briefcase, wasn't like a jobber. Everyone else has kind of been with the briefcase, has kind of had the briefcase, but then still kind of just been doing other stuff that's not really related to the briefcase, and it's just random cash in. Whereas Dolph Ziggler was like still kind of like having matches. I think he was the main event of pay-per-view for the briefcase at one point.
Yeah, against John Cena. Yeah.
So
that's when AJ Lee turned.
Yeah, so he was being like used as like a star with the briefcase. Maybe Seth Rollins was, maybe? Was he?
Yeah.
As with the case, kind of like being used as a star. But then, and then with this one, it's like you give her the briefcase. And again, I said this for the last sort of like every time we keep reviewing it, but for the women, they don't like let the women hold the briefcase anymore. Like Carmella was the only one to hold the briefcase. Everyone else cashed in the night or the night after. So it's like, Alexa Bliss cashed in on the same night. Asuka, because of
Becky Lynch.
Hold on. Because of Becky Lynch being injured. Was it Asuka? No,
it was being pregnant.
But was it?
Asuka won it, but then
who was after Alexa Bliss? No, Bailey was after Alexa Bliss. That's the one, Bailey.
Yeah.
And Bailey cashed in on the night. Then Asuka won it because of Becky Lynch, and then Nikki Ash cashed in the night after. Yeah, no one's holding the briefcase for women. They're literally like, you win the briefcase, you're another champion, more or less.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. No, fair play.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like it was a wasted. Or if you want to say wasted opportunity, or maybe just the wrong decision at the wrong time at that time. But either way, I didn't like it, and it was my number 2.
Yeah. Fair play. Matthew, what's your? Have you said your one?
No.
Yeah. What's your
mine
number?
would be the Rock 25th anniversary battle royal.
That's everything about the Rock 25th.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that battle royal? Was that the one I'm talking about? The pizza.
Yeah, and almost won
that was part
one.
of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, almost won it for no reason.
Are you saying the battle royal or the whole pay-per-view aspect of the Rock? What are you saying?
The actual battle royal.
Really? Number what are we on? 2, 3.
Number 2.
Yeah. Wow, that's
so why didn't you like it?
Yeah.
You said extremely though.
Yeah, was it that bad?
Because I wanted to see the Rock. I wanted to see the Rock in it. That's why.
I mean, the battle royal, didn't they deliberately move it from the pre-show to the main show in favor of something else? Yeah, they moved it on the show for whatever reason. I guess they figured that Omos needs to get a pay-per-view in. But
that was why. Oh, I remember I hated that thing. It's so stupid. And they again, this is just like the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. You win this Battle Royal that's meant to be of big stakes. Did they even mention it afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
So what was it about it that you didn't like that? What's your points with that?
For me, like, I just didn't see the point in it, because the fact that it's supposed to be Rock's 25th anniversary, whatever, and like, well, obviously the Rock wasn't there. Nothing major happened that symbolized that. And like Rob said, like nothing happened afterwards. It's kind of like, what was the point?
Yeah.
Except like putting.
I think it's just disrespectful. I think it's just this, to me. I wouldn't say. I guess it's a bit extreme. It's disrespectful to the Rock's name, but they basically just used his name as promotional material, knowing the fact that he was not going to be there.
Right.
Just get some extra money, and just to lure people in, just to think, oh, maybe you should turn up to like the place where he debuted, but they just carried on making it out as if he was going to be there. That's the thing that pisses me off. And they seem to be doing that a lot. They seem to lie a lot. Like I remember when with Bianca and Sasha Banks, they knew that Sasha Banks was not going to be at SummerSlam, but they kept on promoting it. And then obviously, we're not going to get the hype rematch that we wanted, but we get a squash match with Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? They love to lie a lot. I know sometimes it works out in their favor, but stuff like that, I kind of don't agree with. And I agree with the Rock Battle Royal thing, that he just used his name for bullshit purposes, and it doesn't even help the superstar that they put it on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like look at the people that won the Battle Royal, the Andre Memorial. Doesn't really help them. Cesaro won it, didn't really help him much. Baron Corbin, Big Show. Matt Hardy,
Oh yeah, Matt Hardy won, didn't he?
Yeah, he did win it, but with the help of Bray Wyatt.
One last one.
Naomi won one.
Who? Naomi won one. Yeah. What's the one that did the Gronk win? Who won that one?
Mojo.
What's the one that took out Jinder?
Mojo Rawley.
Rawley. Come on, doesn't help nobody. And this is for proof. So yeah.
I mean, were you there live for that one? You're there forgetting who won it.
No, I remember with that match, I was actually in the concessions. So I was there, but I wasn't watching. I was in the concessions because I didn't care for the Battle Royal. That's why I forgot.
Do you think they're gonna change the statue, because the statue has the names of the previous winners, and like two of them are I don't know. You got Big Show in AEW now. Roger Mole, I don't know how to say his name or where he is. Jojo. It's just this is probably wiped out. I don't know.
Maybe probably gonna make it look like a default trophy like they did with because originally the one was Mae Young. With Mae Young, it was originally, who was it? Fabulous Moolah,
With the Fabulous
and then they had
Moolah
to change it
into
to
Battle Royal.
default trophy, for Naomi to win. So maybe they might
Women's
just do
Battle
that.
Royal.
Remember 3 years ago when the McMahon family said there would be no more rematches? Those are some good times.
They said a lot of things 3 years ago, mate. They said
Yeah,
that they would
Oh, the lies.
not be any more authority figures and all this stuff. Some authority figures. Like, it's just like, you know, I don't know. It's just.
And if you thought we were done now. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on. Yeah, my number 2, pretty much is, I don't know if it's a bit of a cheat, but it was a dark year. So I just round it all up. And it's basically the all 80 plus wrestlers that they released this year. There was a lot of
Wait, that's your number 2.
Yeah, I put that at number 2. Yeah. Why? What's wrong with that? These are people's livelihoods. Why? And the reasons for doing it.
I'm trying to see. That's your number 2. So you
think that's number 1?
Wrestling that's worse than this.
Yeah, apparently.
My opinion, yeah. I guess in my opinion,
that's
basically.
Okay.
People's lives were at stake, but there's something worse on television. Like, it's just,
right. So come on, then. Go ahead.
Basically.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I think obviously it was a dark day, or dark days, should I say. A lot of sudden departures, some of them more controversial than the last. Obviously Nia Jax, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. You know, they're cutting people saying is budget cuts. Yet a few days later they report their quarterlies and they're making record profits than they did the year prior. They're getting oil money from Saudi Arabia. They got the major TV deals. Their Peacock service is going very well. They are not in the red. They're very much in the green. And they're still re-signing people to big contracts. They just re-signed Kevin Owens on a reportedly $3 million a year, and he's up there with Roman Reigns and someone else, Seth Rollins, as one of the top earners in the company. And still releasing people it's still effectively a pandemic right now. Still come on. And yeah, the reasons for it is nonsensical. It's making them looking in a bad way, even more so now. This new guy, Nick Khan, is obviously Vince's right-hand man, and it's slowly starting to feel like Vince is slowly losing power, and it's kind of going more to this Nick Khan guy.
Apparently he's not new. Apparently he's been around for like 20 years.
In the company?
Yeah, I've read it recently.
Okay, so
I don't know if he's had the same role, but he's
no, he's definitely not had the same role. Just recently, he's definitely become president. Definitely, I think it's over the past year or so.
I'll double check. He's either in WWE or the industry, something. Because someone was talking about him recently, another wrestler.
And I feel like a majority of these releases, definitely Vince has very minimal say in them, because obviously there's been very few people that they either re-debut or they come up from the NXT onto the main roster for a couple weeks, and they all just getting released. Aleister Black, Hit Row, freaking Braun Strowman, they're constantly on TV and they just get plucked out of, just get released. I don't think this is from Vince, and it kind of looks like he's just like, oh well, it is what it is. If he really had more power, he could have easily brought him back and say, no, I have plans for this guy, but he's just, just letting things be what it be. So it's very, whatever's happening behind the scenes, I think there's more to it. Obviously, they're not letting it go out to the public as of now. I still believe that they are still gearing up to sell. I'm sorry, I think they're gearing up to sell. And yeah, they're doing really shoddy work of trying to hide it. Whenever that will happen, I don't know if it's going to be Disney or whatever. But yeah, it's still dark days, and it's and the reason is behind it is just absolutely just dark. So yeah, that's my thoughts. What was you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think it's Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn.
has a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of-
that's his
he's
right
always
hand
been
bitch
there.
all the time. Yeah, he's always been there.
And just to correct, it was my bad. The whole Nick Khan thing, it was The Rock who said he was childhood friends with Nick Khan. And now to see 20 years later the position he has, so that's what confused me. I thought he'd been in WWE for 20 years. So, yeah. So
Right.
Alistair, Bray, the Iconics, Nia Jackson, all of Hit Row.
Yeah. Those were the most shocking ones because like they were obviously product of WWE. Or like they were just starting out. Like they didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it just didn't make sense for it to come out of left field.
nope.
But for the most part, a majority of them have found better pastures. You know, Alistair's obviously gone to AEW doing good work. Braun just debuted at Ring of Honor as Titan. Nia Jax says she's done with wrestling. She's gonna do other stuff.
Oh no! Wow.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That's a shame, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hit Row, I wanted to mention them earlier because you guys were talking about Karrion Kross, about how when he debuted, they took the girl off him.
Yes.
They did the same thing with Hit Row. They did the same thing with and didn't they do the same thing with Enzo and Cass as well?
Yeah, that was in NXT. Yeah, that was during NXT.
Huh?
So Enzo and Cass, when they were in NXT, they had Carmella. And then
that's what I mean.
When they moved up, they went without her.
Yeah, so I'm saying it seems like it's not just the first time with Karrion. It seems that they do that. They pick them apart. I don't know why. But...
Yeah. I don't know what it is. When it comes, because I remember they used to be very prominent. Maybe not so before. Yeah, they were. Like old SmackDown used to have like female valets. Like remember the Basham brothers, Deuce and Domino. They all had, you know, a female valet, but for some reason they've scrapped that now. Even the Usos had Naomi, wasn't it? Or Tamina?
Tamina, yeah.
And it was Naomi. So yeah, for some reason they scrapped that now. They don't really have that. I don't know why. They just don't do that anymore. They haven't done it for years. When you think about it, yeah. Fair play. Fair enough. So okay, so let's wrap it up and let's get to number one. Hey, right. Numero uno. All right, let's see who's gonna go first. You know, Matthew, what is your number one, please?
My number one would be Becky Lynch's return, but mainly because of squashing Bianca Belair.
Oh, okay.
Like 26 seconds, whatever it was.
Boom. That was my number one.
Oh, okay. 1 for 1. Okay.
See you.
Because I was thinking, like, it was good to have Becky Lynch back, don't get me wrong, but like in the process of basically destroying everything that Bianca's built on, like, during her title reign in that short space of time, it was ridiculous.
And when you think about it, she has yet to redeem herself since then. She's had title shots and whatnot, but they've either been screwy finishes. No, I think most of them have been screwy finishes. Her title matches, the one against Becky, and then the other ones with Charlotte. That one was a screwy finish. She's going to be the next big thing, and they're not doing a good job. They are not doing a good job. I'm sorry.
But yeah, she's still, like I say, she's still to a degree being held to the same standard as all of them. It's almost like she's filling in for Bayley right now in the terms of like her position and how she's used in comparison to like I say, like a Naomi who has her moment in the spotlight and then it's back to obscurity, or like, you know, even someone like Natty who's like a ring in ring general, and yet she's never treated on the same level as the four horsewomen. You know, like Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley are the four that kind of when they're they're at the top. Huh?
Did he say all for good reason?
No, I said when all four of them are there, they're at the top.
Oh no, I thought Rob said.
Someone.
No.
But it's like, so like, you know, for Belair, it's like, you know, although I do feel like she is, you know, one of the, considering she's homegrown talent as well, I think for how good she is in the ring, and she's just genuinely like, if you're gonna really deep it, she's like such a palatable character, relates to all kind of, someone can relate to her in all walks kind of, and yet you kind of put her in a spot where she wins the Rumble, she gets the 24, you get really behind her, she gets the Mania win, and then she's having this kind of, as I'm going to say, a solid run as champion. I mean, like, she had, like, she was feuding with Bayley for the first sort of 2 or 3 months. And then now you kind of, when she finishes with Bayley, who was she feuding with? I want to say, like, Carmella and Zelina Vega and all of them lot. It's like randoms, but, like, they little kind of fill up to, and then how did it get to Sasha Banks? Did she just return? I can't remember. But either Sasha Banks returns, and that's going to be, giving us their rematch at SummerSlam and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't happen, so then you tease us with the feud, and then Becky Lynch returns. It's like, okay, cool. So I'd much rather Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Would I have liked it to be an actual match with a screwy finish? I think I could have respected that more than a 28, 23, 27-second loss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
actual match. That's all we wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, like Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is right now big time roll ups because that's how she's winning. She's just rolling people up and holding the ropes. That's literally her finish right now. So that finish at SummerSlam, I could have understood that. You know what I mean? So therefore, technically, if you didn't beat Belair, you had to cheat.
Yeah.
I get it. But in this case, it's like what she poked her in the eye to catch her off guard, hit the finish, and got a clean pin, and you're like, whoa, like what?
Yeah.
So they just he's undone everything and whatnot, and then you try to build Bianca Belair up by having her wash the whole of the SmackDown team at Elimination Survivor Series, and it's just like, okay, but
yeah.
I'll give you someone else who returned after being vanished for ages and just came back and kind of pulled a Becky Lynch, but we all love it. It was Roman Reigns. Technically, he did the same thing.
I didn't say I loved it though. I was not here for him winning that triple threat match. I understood it was going to happen, but I wasn't here for it.
Okay, fair enough.
And I said that at the time. I was like, you will know that because I think it was that thing where wasn't there like a week between pay-per-views? Like he returned at like the SummerSlam or something like that, and then
because it was Payback. Yeah, remember they had 2 pay-per-views at the same month. Yeah, it was SummerSlam then Payback like 2 weeks later.
A week later.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I take it back. Yeah, I take it back. Forget.
And then it was
his
like,
actual return wasn't the match, was it? It was just an attack.
No.
Yeah. My bad.
And then it was like, oh, the next week he's having a triple threat match at Payback. It's like Strowman, Fiend, and Reigns, and then Reigns beat Strowman, I want to say.
Yeah, Fiend did.
Yes.
And then it's like, boom, he's champion. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, I wasn't necessarily here for it in that moment, but then you kind of see where his character's going, and now I can kind of, okay, we all know I was a secret Roman Reigns mark anyway, but then it's like,
even when you mark about something, you still want it done right, So
yeah,
right. But then in this case, I didn't care for him in the title run initially. I just knew it was gonna happen. Just didn't care for it. Now, like, I'm gonna say, what was his Hell in a Cell match? Hell in a Cell against Jey Uso.
Yes,
champions.
Was that it? Yeah, from kind of then onwards, I've kind of been here for Roman Reigns. But before that, I was very much like, nah, we good.
Yeah, and it's been handled differently compared to Becky, like we were saying.
100%, 110%.
Well, he's winning clean as opposed to like keep rolling people up.
Yeah.
Literally every single match that she's had, since she's returned, she's won with a roll up, and she's holding the ropes.
Yeah.
It's how she beat Charlotte. It's how she beat Liv Morgan. It's how she beat Bianca Belair. It's how she retained at Crown Jewel. It's just how she's winning.
Yeah, Reigns ain't totally clean. I mean, usually the Usos do kind of get involved,
but he's not rolling up and using ropes or anything like that. It's a clean 1, 2, 3 finish. Is what I'm getting at. Like he's pinning the person, or they tap out to that choke thing that he does.
Yeah.
All right. Who's next?
Cool. RIDEZ, it's you. What's your numero uno of worst moment of the year?
Kind of talked about it already. It took place at AEW Revolution, and it was the catastrophe of a main event where we thought we were going to get, a New Year's Day firework display, and we just got little sparklers from Amazon, and just, I don't know, man. It was just,
what? I'll just throw this in as well. That's my number one. That is my number one as well. So yeah.
With the barbed wire.
Yeah. What?
So I suppose, yeah, it's barbed wire exploding something.
Nah, it was just like it's equivalent to a few matches we've mentioned here where the hype behind it was just like, yo, yes, you want to watch it, you want to see it. Even the match itself was good. But then the ending, and then to me, that was my introduction to Eddie Kingston, really. I don't know if he was actually on the show prior, but I don't recall seeing him until then. And then, but you kind of, I don't know if it was commentary or whatever, but you could tell already there was a backstory. Okay, whoever this guy is has history with Dean or Moxley. They're friends and enemies and friends, but he's there to protect him. And you feel, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? To the point where part of me, even to this day, still kind of thinks they did that on purpose. Oh, like, you know, in kayfabe, what Kenny Omega said, the reason why it was rubbish. Like, he said that it was just like a trick.
Yeah.
There must be some. There's no way that they planned for something big and that happened. That's just.
If you look at it, was like the power completely wrong, and they didn't. And the guy that actually meant to be testing it, he did not test it before the show, so they actually went in bareback, and it just came out.
But it
wrong.
was just awkward because it's not just that it went wrong, but then you got Moxley and Eddie selling the hell out of it.
Like yes, even the commentating, they was like, "Oh my god, they passed out."
I mean, they tried to cover it up. Oh, the fumes. There must be fumes. They're just like, shut the flip up, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they do so much. These guys like covering the ring, and then
they're so good at. They're so. I hate when commentators do that when something doesn't go to plan, and they try to. They're very good at it. Yeah, just. Like I remember one time, kind of off subject here, but I remember when Seth Rollins was in the ring one time.
Yes,
that's what you're going to talk about. And like a fan had clearly come into the room, and because the camera was on Seth is looking at the fan, but you can't see the fan, so it just looks like Seth. And Michael Cole's like, so Seth looks like he's in a trance thinking about the Finn Balor or whatever. I'm like, what? I would rather you just tell me that it's live TV and accidents happen. Don't tell me he's in a trance like I'm an idiot. So
yeah, but
going back to
the thing, I feel like they only do that now because the last time they did that was the time when the fan interfered in John Cena and Jeff Hardy. And remember they both cleared off. And they're both looking at the fan, and the fan was on TV, and then they were like, "Oh, this crowd is really hype or whatever." And then Jeff Hardy and John Cena are just there laughing and whatnot. Like, what can you do? You have to.
But what's wrong with that? That's fine. I know what you're talking about. I think King said live TV, like cool. Acknowledge it.
Like, humans, like anything can happen on live TV kind of thing, and it was like, oh, you know. And then it's like they mentioned it, and ever since then, now if things happen and whatnot, like they don't mention it. Like, didn't Seth just get speared on Raw by a fan the other day? Like, and, no one mentioned that. It happened.
And he has choreographers. So let's go to the replay. So what happened with Finn Balor and Seth? Nothing else happened. Just these two. Can we just see that?
Right.
That, please.
And they like, you paid the entire match for us while they're doing that, and it's like we just literally saw this like
just taken out.
I mean, I understand not showing it to an extent like that. You had to turn away for that because that could have been very dangerous, and you don't want to.
No, I get
but the commentary, like I said, when them two men were laying in the ring, the commentary were talking like a terrorist attack just happened and people were dying.
Oh my God.
It wasn't even, it was just a commentator. It was just an Excalibur guy. He was selling the hell out.
Yeah. You know when they put that and then they put that there's a certain tone that they put in their voice, like something bad has really happened, like someone's dying, like hold the I'm like, oh my God. Like it's like come on, bro.
They were like, obviously with Moxley and Kingston, there was obviously Kingston was on top of Moxley, and then eventually he just went limp, and then
to be fair, they didn't see it. They didn't see it, so they probably thought the real thing happened. They were covered up. They didn't see it.
And people try to say Kingston had an asthma attack or something like
that. Something like that. Yeah, that was he said that.
That's funny. That's hilarious. That is banter. Whoever came up with that is a flipping genius. That is, you know what? He should have ran with that. He should have said that the next night.
Oh my God! Come up with the asthma pump. Like, you guys got me last time, but don't worry. I'm ready for you guys.
Yeah, but you know what? Good heel cover up by Kenny and his dad the next night, talking about you know, how it was a trick, and I did like when they mocked them, and Kenny got on the floor, and that was all funny. That was funny.
That was it was a hilarious moment. But like you said, like I said earlier, overall that pay-per-view was good, but just that is what everyone will remember for it, and that's a shame because it just takes away everything from the match before.
I don't remember much from the pay-per-view. It was blinded by that.
That's what I'm saying. It just overwrites everything, and it's a shame because, and also the thing is, the match itself was good, like you said, but yeah, it just no one will remember
the end.
No one will remember the end. Yeah, it's true. Numero Superfly also says, I think for that fiasco, I felt bad because the match between the two was good, but the ending was just ruined a great match. Yeah, exactly.
Well said.
Well said. But yeah, that is our
any honorable mentions, people.
Oh yeah, honorable mentions. I got a couple.
I was going to talk about the releases as well, but
all my honorable mentions, you guys already said it as well. Because destroyed the Hurt Business, Lynch squashes Belair, Nikki Ash wins Money in the Bank, and loses it in a month. The destruction of Karrion Kross and the title handover of Lynch and Charlotte. Yeah, those are my honorable mentions. What about you guys?
Do I have any? I would have spoken about the releases as well, but then it's one of those ones where I figured that someone else would talk about the releases, so that doesn't need to be in my top, which obviously you did.
Yeah.
A travesty, it would never sit right with me what they did to Hit Row. They were such a big thing in NXT, and they were really coming into their own just to kind of come to the main roster for 1 week.
I really want to know. I really want to hear their interviews. I really want to hear the interviews and see what the fuck happened. How was that conversation? And what was there? What did they have plans for you? How was it to be backstage in the main event? Go on.
Well, they've already spoke about it briefly. They were saying, one of the members said that the day was a lot of back and forth. Hey, we don't need you. Stay at home. Actually, can you guys come down?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Actually, now you're here. Actually, we don't need you. Actually, Vince wants to see you. It was a lot of that. Up until the show,
Either way, it's just whoa,
it's messy.
And the thing is that you're in such a decent spot on NXT that they didn't even need to get drafted. Them getting drafted, you're boom, big moment, and they're going to SmackDown as well, big brand.
The thing is that B-Fab girl,
right by them, and it's just boom, released. You're whoa.
Yeah, and that B-Fab girl, she the most screwed out over. She was on an NXT contract. They re-signed her, gave her a new one. And then she gets screwed over, and now she's on the 90-day compete clause, so she can't even earn any money now. It's messed up. Numero Superfly says, I think the one honorable mention was the whole month of April and May, where Raw had the exact same thing, same matches, same promos, same.
I remember that. Yes,
I remember
that.
There was a lot of rematches.
Where literally it was the same thing every single week, and then it's just I think that's the whole reason why the ratings are so bad right now, because everyone just thinks the same thing every time.
Yeah, I remember there was one point where it felt. Remember when SmackDown or Raw had this, or SmackDown had the same matches, or that was on Raw? They just kept on copying and pasting, and there was nothing special. It's when they were doing the Super Show shit they were doing.
Yeah, so basically, whatever you see on SmackDown, it would just happen again on Raw.
Oh, the other way around. Yeah, the other way around. Whoever was on Raw, they're gonna have the rematch on SmackDown the same week. That's what I'm saying. That's what usually happens.
SmackDown's main event. SmackDown's main event would be Raw's opening match. That's how it was for a good. That's how it was for a good month. If you had 6-man tag on SmackDown.
No, I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. When 2008, 2009 Super Showdown period when Alberto was champion and whatnot. If he was in the main event on SmackDown, he'd be in the opening match on Raw, having the exact same match.
So with Numero's comment, what was exactly you telling me this week this will be the main event, and then the following week the same main event, or what are we talking about?
It wasn't really that main event. It was kind of the little things that they would be doing in between. You might get
Ricochet versus
Edric, Viking Raiders, and all that.
Yeah. I remember there was a lot of
random tag team matches that were just the same thing. And each week you're just getting the same people, same matchup, same this, same that, and it was
that was when they really did not give a shit. They really didn't care. Like you said, the ratings was like dire. I don't know, like something was up. They just did not care. They just kept spewing it out. This is during the Thunderdome era, so this is even more annoying because, you know, they obviously got flipping fans cheered, the MP3 playing in the background saying, "Oh yeah, this is an amazing match," but we got this 2 weeks in a row already. Like, we don't care for these rematches. You know what I mean? It's whatever. So yeah, I understand that. That's fair enough. So yeah, other than that, I think this has been a lengthy episode for the first ever live stream of Take It to the Table. So yeah, as always,
we made it, folks. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
No,
made it.
No editing.
No editing.
Right? Oh my god, no editing. See how it's going to go like 3 hours.
You have no idea how thankful I am. I could just save this and just upload. Done. I'm good. So yeah, as always, thank you very much for joining us. Of course, thank you, RIDEZ, Mr Rymz, Matthew. You guys are obviously a staple of the show. So you know, it wouldn't have made it so far without you guys. I think how long has it been? It's like 3 years now, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Royal Rumble 2019 was our debut.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 2019. Yes, it's been a ride. But yeah. As always, thank you very much. You want to drop your socials real quick? Even though it's on the screen.
Everyone's on the screen. However, for my one, it's the name down here.
There we go.
But rather than a dash, it is an underscore. So
I need to change that.
Right.
Yeah. It's underscore, not a hyphen.
Me, it's Big Man Raz and everything. Just start typing that and it will come up. And yeah, that's it, man. Hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can get you the same name across all social media platforms. Boom.
Of course. So yeah, don't worry, guys. If you enjoyed this, be sure obviously leave your comments below. Also, keep going. Let us know what your top 5 worst moments are and top 5 best pay-per-views in the comments. I always read them. And yeah, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, we'll be doing this again. Probably we'll do this again at some point, maybe in the next 2-3 months.
WrestleMania week or Royal Rumble week.
WrestleMania week, yeah. Or Royal Rumble, yeah. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, no worries, guys. Well, until next time, guys, thank you very much. Peace.
Of course. Thanks for having us. Later.
See ya.